Hello and welcome and happy almost New Year. I'm Pat Bear. I'm here to build a model kit. I'm here to play some PowerWash Simulator, and I'm here to ring in 2024 with you. I'm throwing the Bear Cave Lego the site, the Tier 2 Bloom in the chat. If you are currently a subscriber, you can reply with those emotes. If you are not yet a subscriber, you can say hi or use other people's emotes. Or if you feel like being a lurker, you can go ahead and lurk, and that's also okay. John is here saying, I'm here for a good time, but not a long time. Totally understandable. Totally okay. It is, of course, a Sunday night, and I don't normally stream on Sundays. I almost never stream on Sundays, but it's New Year's Eve. So the plan is 9 p.m. now until 11 p.m. Eastern time, my normal 2-hour block. Model kit building. We're working on a new kit. Going to work on the V2 Assault Gundam. Looking forward to working on that. Then 11 p.m. rolls around. I stop working on model kits. John watched. I just got this notification here. John, a watch streak. Currently on a 3-stream streak because you can just click that and that shows up, which is great. Into 2024, excellent. Aristophan is here. Hello, Aristophan. Crazy Kook is here. Saying here's to a better year to come. Indeed, Lord Crashin is here. Welcome, welcome. So yeah, it's 2 hours model kit building. Then 11 p.m. PowerWash Simulator until like 11:50 something. Then we'll get into that. We'll have the countdown or the tick over here. We're going to do the time.is and see the clock and know when it strikes midnight here on the East Coast. And then we'll go hang out and we'll say hello and all that. Then we'll go raid. We'll go hang out with somebody else. Lord Crashing wants with the dance button. I will hit the dance button right now. And here we go. Our last dance of the year. Not our last dance. The last song of the year here. I'm sure I'll get to hit this more than once as we end the Christmas season. Tomorrow's stream. That's right. I'm back tomorrow. We'll have a new song because it'll be January tomorrow. Oh boy, Mondays. You know that. So after midnight, while we're kind of finishing up the stream, don't expect a new song to play because I have to change it over, and I'm not going to do that while you're here. So that'll be tomorrow. We'll have a new song. But I will say a thing that's happening today into tomorrow. Lashbrook is here. Hello, Lashbrook. I'm so glad that so many regulars are here on a night that I never stream. But it is a bonus season here. Bonus stuff continues until January 2nd. New subscriptions, 25% off. Gift subs, 25% off. If you want to save some money and give me some money, you can do that because we're currently at 34 subscribers. The goal is to get to 50. I shut up about it at 50. If you want to become a subscriber, you can do that at any time. Now would be great because you save money. But any time would be good for me. What else? Anything else I need to say real quick before we get into this model kit and start it from scratch? Oh, you know what I want to do? What I didn't do, I'm going to do this now, is I'm going to set an alarm on my phone so that in case I get so caught up in PowerWash Simulator that I don't realize that it's almost the new year, I'm going to set an alarm. And of course, there is a little bit of delay between my stream and you receiving it, so your time may vary, but I'm going to set a 3-minute alarm. So at 11:57 p.m., my alarm will go off, and I'll know that I've got 3 minutes to get over. We're not going to tune into any kind of like celebration or anything like that because I don't want to get hit with a copyright strike or anything like that. We're just going to go to time.is and look at the New York time because I miss New York. Because for a good portion of my life, and we'll get into the model kit building now when we go to the overhead here. We'll get started on the V2. For a large portion of my life, is there a Gundam ball dropping there? No, we don't have the ball getting ready to drop. But for a very long time in my life, New York was where I celebrated that. I mean, like, yes, I celebrated New Year's into New Year's Eve into New Year's in Connecticut because that's where I grew up. But when I moved to New York full time at age 21, from 21 until in between my 39th and 40th year, I celebrated in New York. And then since I have been here in South Carolina, and I have been streaming since, because maybe not the first year, but I think since. On the West Coast, we got another 6 hours. Indeed. Yes, a Haru drop would be fun, or the ball, but we don't have that. We will have a time thing, and we'll cheer. We're gonna work on the V2. So, hey, here's a pro tip that I should have thought about a long time. Because let's look at this instructions before we get into the building. You've always wanted to do New Year's Eve in New York City, but never worked out. Yeah. So I've never done the Times Square New Year's Eve because I respect myself. But I have partied in New York, and I have been on the streets for New Year's, and it's been a good time. But I've never done the Times Square thing because I tried to avoid Times Square when possible. So I have little to no respect. I hear you, John. This is the V2 Assault Buster Gundam. We're going to do the V2 Assault Buster Gundam style. But that's this. That's what we want to do. We want to do this one. We don't want to do the V2 Assault or the V2 Buster. I can't remember which one it is which. One is the Assault and one is the Buster. We want to do the combination Assault Buster Gundam. You can do either of them. You can't do all three, of course. But you can do either. You can make the choice on how you want to build this. So you could buy 3 model kits and build it yourself. I forget when this kit came out. Sorry, I'm going to check real quick. Tell me, where are you? Front page of this manual. Where are you? Front page of this manual that tells me that detail. There you are. 2015 kit. That makes sense. Is that a big horn on its head? No. That is right here. If you look right here, that's a shoulder-mounted weapon. And then there's another weapon. So this here is a weapon. That's a weapon. You can see it better there. That's not on its head. That's on its backpack. It's just got shoulder-mounted. It's got backpack weapons, which I like. So, here's the thing. How do you decide? Yes, it has big shoulders on this friend. How do you figure out what you want to build, Pat? This is from 2015. It's not written in English. There's no English for you. How would you figure this out? That you want this one, you want to do these steps here and not this step. Because these steps are the same for this one and this one. But for this one, it's different. Why do you want to make sure you do that? How do you know? Well, you put Google, if you don't have it already, you put Google Lens on your phone. In this case, I already have it. And you use the translate function, and you use the camera, and you hold it over. I wonder if this will get picked it up. I think it will. We can just do that live. Yeah. So we'll use Google Lens. Yeah, you should be able to see that. And it's going to tell me, this is the V2 Buster Gundam. This, I'll give it a second to do its thing, is the Assault Gundam. This is the Assault Buster Gundam. So we don't want the Buster. We don't want the Assault. We want the Assault Buster Gundam. Crazy says, this is how I always do it. So handy. Yeah. I have just, my old school philosophy on this, it is a bit of a choose your own adventure, John. Yes. My feeling on this has always been, I just look it up and I'll figure that out. I'll look and someone will translate. And there's a blog somewhere that someone made of this build when people used to, before the days of YouTube, people would just take photos of their builds in progress and put up blogs about them. Now, even in the days after YouTube, because that's 2008, people still did that, and people still do it. So that's how I used to look up information about a kit. If it was like, there's 2 versions, I don't know which one I want because I can't read the instructions, someone would tell me on the internet. Now I can be the person that tells me, or rather Google Lens can. This is a thing that I should have figured out a long time ago, and it was only pretty recently that I was like, oh wait. The thing I use to sometimes understand web pages that won't let me translate them by holding my phone up to my computer monitor, I could just do that. And obviously for this, it does well enough, right? Like if I'm reading a whole text, it's not going to be perfect. But for this, it's pretty great. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to make sure that we are building. And I went through with my Sharpie and just was like, don't build that one. Build this one. Don't build this or this. Build this. Got to build. This is the a waist that we have to build. We want to assemble the legs like this. We don't want to assemble the legs like this. Because we want to do the big one. We want to do like as much of it as possible using all of the gold and all of the cool colors from this. Will there be a lot of pieces left over? You bet your ass there will. Is that okay? Yeah, fuck it, I don't care. But let's get into it. Now that I've talked way too much about that, I'm going to drink a little bit of water here. But yeah, let's get into the build here. We need D16. We are working on the chest first. So we'll do that. D16 is going to be 4, 6. There we go. So we'll start that. I do know that anytime there is a block of text, there's some blocks of text here that I can't read, but I do know that they're like, don't snip off this part. And for this one right here, they don't want me to cut off these pegs by mistake. That would be bad. Then we'd have to get the liquid cement out, and I don't want to do that on the first step of this build. We've got a fun little gun here. Great weapons on this kit. This should be a fun build. Look, Victory Gundam. The Victory, not my favorite. A thing that I barely remember. I don't have fond memories. We have built a V2 on this stream before, but it was the original V2, not the Assault or the Buster. And it was a clear kit. We built the clear one that I bought at, I believe, a New York Comic Con. And that kit was fantastic and was kind of difficult because clear kits are occasionally pretty difficult for me anyway. All right, B28 is here. But I did build that, and I thought that was pretty neat. Let's see. What can we talk about tonight? I think a lot of I did want to say, because I'm going to close the poll during tonight's stream, probably in the middle of the stream here. I'm going to close it, so I will put the link in here. If you have not voted on what expensive model kit I should purchase with my Amazon gift cards that I got for Christmas, you can vote now. Currently in the lead is the Amplified Blue Eyes White Dragon. In second place currently is the Zaku Warrior Master Grade, the live concert version. And coming in third, but still pretty close, honestly, is the Gundam Aerial Full Mechanics. So if you have a kit there that you'd love to see me build and pay too much money to get, maybe not too much money. In the case of the Amplified Blue Eyes White Dragon, it's probably a good price because that is a hard kit to find. I am sure that if I scrounged around in shops that are nowhere near me, if I was in a place where I could go and look at actual kit stores, then I could find the Zaku Warrior Master Grade for maybe a little bit cheaper, and I bet I could find the Aerial Full Mechanics for cheaper than what's on Amazon. I am sure. I'm using Amazon gift cards, and also there are no good stores near me. But I bet that the Aerial I could get for a cheaper price. The Amplified Blue Eyes White Dragon, it does not seem like there are a lot of them in circulation, so that probably is an actually reasonable price for what it's set at on Amazon. So, but yeah, I want to make sure people had the opportunity to vote in that poll if they are so interested in doing so. I got 34 responses, which is good. That dragon looks cool. Yes, Arist fan. We've built one amplified kit before. It was a Digimon. The amplified kits are just ones where they can go wild with it. So it is not the traditional Blue Eyes White Dragon you may see on a card, or you might see on a Duel Monsters card, or in the manga or the anime. It's just an interpretation of that kit, which I think is pretty neat. That Love Phantom Zaku or whatever will definitely roll through Pre-Bandia at some point. Yes, Slashbrook. That kit will show up in Premium Bandai, the Zaku Warrior live concert version. We've built the high grade of the Zaku Warrior, but not the master grade, and certainly not the Love concert version, which you may remember ended up on my wish list in a conversation that someone had asked the question during a stream months ago. Because we were talking about how Witch from Mercury is the gayest, intentionally gayest that a Gundam series has ever been, because I fully believe that Amuro and there are gay overtones in some of the early Gundam series, but I do not feel that they're all fully intentional. Yeah, Char is I don't know why Char escaped my brain, but you're right, John. I was thinking of Char. But to me, the early Gundam series is not intentional. Some of it is dubs of the time. Some of it is just the way things worked out. Some of it is clever edits by people. But I don't fully believe that is intentionally as queer as it ends up being presented. Whereas Witcher Mercury is certainly queer on purpose, despite what some high-ranking employees may try to counter with. That's a conversation we've already had, of course. But I bring that up because I was asked, well, what's the gayest mobile suit? And to me, the Zaku Warrior Master Grade Live Concert version is wonderful. Like, it is wonderfully pink and having a ball. It's having a great fucking time. And I don't think there is a gayer mobile suit than that. So yeah, so vote if you haven't yet. If you have voted, you can again. So tough. Let's see. What do we want to talk about here? AEW World's End. I am going to go through last night's pay-per-view. Was the reason that I didn't stream yesterday and I'm streaming today, because I wanted to watch this pay-per-view. Not the only reason, but it was a reason. Do I regret it? No. If I bought that pay-per-view by myself and paid full price for myself, I would be mildly disappointed, because it's a pretty middling show. Very good opening match. Fun enough 0 hour pre-show. The last 3 matches were all very solid. Good to great. A conclusion of a story, not conclusion, a movement in a storyline that has felt like it is in molasses, and with the most obvious outcome possible, but still an outcome, and not one that doesn't make sense. So that's a win in wrestling. Because there certainly are plenty of stories out there that have no end in sight because they never were intending them to. Now, is this connected properly? Should this be flush? I'm gonna actually pull this out and then we're gonna take a look here, because I'm wondering if this is flush or not. Hello, Vicky. Welcome. I can't tell from this if there's a gap here right now, and I can't tell if that's intentional or if it's just not connected all the way. And I feel like now is a good time to figure that out, because later would be a bad time to figure that out. So we're going to see if I can. I don't even know if I can get these separated. That's actually going to be a problem. But I just can't tell if this should be flush or not. And I feel like it should. I feel like it should be. And my thought is, well, actually, maybe not. Maybe that is right. The real thing is, when I try to put the back on, I might run into some resistance from this, but we'll figure that out when the time comes, I guess, is what I'll say. So yeah, overall, the pay-per-view, here's the thing. I didn't pay full price because I went in on it with people, so I already didn't pay that much money. And I can't be too mad at a show that has a crowning achievement for one of, if not my, favorite wrestlers. It's certainly my most ride or die wrestler. I was maybe in celebration a tad hyperbolic when I said this, but I do stand by it. That one of what happened last night with Eddie Kingston is the kind of thing that prevents me from giving up on wrestling when I hate wrestling. When wrestling is just not that fun and not that enjoyable, and I'm kind of bogged down by it, and I'm thinking, yeah, I could probably take a break. What keeps me from doing that is moments like we had with Eddie, where I'm just like, yeah, I can't quit that. I just can't quit it. Eddie Kingston, who I have been following the career of since the mid-2000s, is a champion in AEW, Ring of Honor, and New Japan at the same time. And that should not be the case, friends. A guy like Eddie doesn't get breaks like that. For a guy like Eddie, he should be happy to have a job. That Eddie Kingston should just be grateful to be in any company. That a major company, a major American wrestling company, would hire Eddie Kingston should be enough. And yes, Tony Khan owns Ring of Honor as well as AEW. So it's two belts within the same system. Sure. If you want to poke holes at it, you can say that. Sure. And yes, it's a New Japan Strong title, which means that it is New Japan's secondary brand. Sure. But even that is a lot for a guy like Eddie Kingston to have. And the match, he earned it. Deserved it. Beat his friend, the brother he chose, as he puts it, Jon Moxley. A guy he's never beaten before, in a hell of a goddamn match. A wonderful war. A beautiful, hard-hitting, all-Japan-ass style wrestling battle. Great psychology. Made even better by Daniel Bryan, or Bryan Danielson. Not Daniel Bryan, but, old habits and all that. By Bryan Danielson on commentary, having to show respect and give it up for Eddie. Begrudging respect for Eddie Kingston. That was my match of the night. It had to be. It's one of my favorite wrestlers living his goddamn dream. In a post-match interview, Eddie Kingston, in character, of course, but Eddie's pretty much Eddie. It's turned up. He's Eddie Kingston with his demons less handled as a wrestler than the man. Eddie Kingston, in character, said, "I'm not used to being happy." Because Eddie Kingston is the realest man in wrestling. That even though he's happy, he's hurt, he's proud, he's thrilled, he's emotional, he's still the guy that is like, oh, I got to carry around 3 belts now. And that and it's going to be a hassle at the airport, and people are going to want to talk to me. And his celebration was he was going to catering because they had a chocolate chip pie in catering, and he can justify it because he won the match. And in the midst of this celebration in this video, Eddie Kingston takes the time to call out the fact that because there are people running around and they're getting a bunch of interviews, the guy who is supplying light for the interview doesn't have he just has light sticks and he's holding them above his head. And Eddie's just like, why are you making this guy do that? What's going on? Come on. And then he pulls in Giancarlo, who's on the video team. And you're like, oh, he's celebrating with the guy that he's been directing these messages to. No, he's busting that guy's balls because Giancarlo, every time they had a match in the Continental Classic, after the matches, Giancarlo's running around to get interviews, and Eddie just fucking wants to go relax. And in character, he doesn't want to do these goddamn interviews. So he's just like, get on camera. This guy's a son of a bitch. And it's just very fun and heartwarming. Because Eddie Kingston is still fucking... Eddie Kingston is the Continental Classic champion. He is the Continental champion for AEW, the Ring of Honor world champion, and the New Japan Openweight Strong Champion. I'm sorry, did I say the right belts? Because there are 3 of them, and maybe I said the New Japan one I say wrong. Nope, yep, New Japan Strong Openweight, Ring of Honor World Champion, and the AEW Continental Champion. He's the Triple Crown Champion. Name another wrestler who even acknowledges the crew. Lashbrook, yeah, it's hard to find that. Generally, you know, like, people reference, like, people in the back, production. There might be a production person that gets mentioned, but it's rare for someone to call them out or on camera say their names. It humanizes them. But Eddie Kingston is just such a great fucking dude and a wonderful wrestler who tells a fantastic story. He in the same year, he is a Triple Crown winner. He won a New Japan title. He wrestled in the G1 in Japan. Had a hell of a time there. He won the Ring of Honor Championship off fucking that bum, the real bum, Claudio Castagnoli. He defeated in this tournament Daniel Bryan in the semifinals after being pinned by Bryan early in the fucking first match, his first match in. And then he beats Jon Moxley in the finals. And they hug at the end. Because they went to war. And it fucking whips ass. It's cool as hell. It's awesome. And he's going to defend those Triple Crown a bunch of places. And it's cool as shit. And even if the card was... A good portion of the card was stuff that probably should have just made an event a TV show. One of their TV shows. It's still fucking good. Because that happened. And I can only be so mad when shit like that happens. I wanted to just start by... I wanted to make sure that I had enough time tonight to talk about Eddie fucking Kingston. He defeated all his demons, greatest foes to get there. Yeah. Yeah. Because here's the thing, right? The greatest demon that Eddie Kingston has ever had to face is Eddie Kingston. The wrestlers are ghosts of his past. People that have beaten, that he's had, that he's never been able to defeat. His mentor is Homicide, an early Ring of Honor champion, a guy that opened doors for him. So he's honoring Homicide by wearing that title. He defeated people that he has great respect and love for. He made up with Ortiz and made peace with Ortiz this year. He's won all these titles, and he had a fantastic match, and he's just kicked so much ass, and it was great, and I'm so pleased for Eddie. But I wanted to jump out of order because I wanted to make sure that I had the fucking time to talk about goddamn Eddie Kingston. My main event. Let's talk about the actual main event. We've got a new AEW World Champion via technical submission, clean in the ring. Samoa Joe defeated MJF. Samoa Joe with Adam Cole in his corner. Adam Cole making time and energy to be there for MJF to help him cheat at one point. MJF a couple times does attempt to cheat in order to defeat Joe. But Joe beats him clean without any assistance, without any problems. Samoa Joe, known hater, positive of Dan Reichert. Yes. Samoa Joe, guy who figured out very early that hating Dan Reichert is an art and a science and brings him joy. Lashbrook says, I do love how much Mox and Eddie were having a serious match, but also like didn't take it seriously, if that matters. Like they weren't trying to pretend that there was animosity. Yeah, I mean, so there is animosity because like Mox and Eddie have beef because Mox let Claudio into his crew because Eddie still hates Claudio, and Eddie does not respect the fact that Bryan Danielson does not respect him. So he's mad at he's mad at Moxley for all that. But in the end, and they both want to win, but in the end, the other winning means a lot to them, right? Eddie wouldn't want to lose to Moxley, but Moxley being Triple Crown champion, that's fucking awesome. Same thing with Moxley. He doesn't want to lose. He doesn't want another title loss out there. He doesn't probably even want to take those belts from Eddie, though. And he certainly wants Eddie to live his dream and his potential. It's lovely. Yeah, they didn't have to manufacture anything. It's just boys. It's just some good boys. Wanting to wrestle hard and loving each other. And wanting good things for one another. Whips ass. So, the match. MJF is legitimately injured and also fake injured. It's fine. Samoa Joe has been protecting him until he wasn't protecting him anymore. He was protecting him to get a title match. Once he got the title match, he was still helping him out. He made a deal with the mysterious devil and the devil's crew so that he could have MJF lose the Ring of Honor tag belts and then attack him after, which is fine. No idea. Not a good explanation as to why, but that's what happened, and that's where we're at. And then we get all of that. This match, good. 18-minute match. MJF made some recovery. He took some ridiculously unnecessary risks. He was rewarded for those risks. Samoa Joe looked like a killer. Adam Cole, the friend on the side, just trying to get Max involved, trying to get Max up and moving, trying to get Max doing things and going for it, and support his friend. He's a little late handing him the ring. And you're like, oh, is this going to be a Wardlow thing where Wardlow on purpose didn't have the ring and walked away? Nope. No, he just couldn't find it. It's a natural mistake. And Samoa Joe wins. And he's the champion. And then the Devil's Goons come out. 2 of which are the Ring of Honor champions. We don't know which ones. And they're going to attack MJF. And they're going to attack Adam Cole, who's hurt. He's legitimately, for real, hurt. And they're going to attack him. They're going to hit him with a chair. And MJF is pleading them not to do that. Hit him instead. Don't do it. Don't do it. And then the lights go out. And we're like, oh, is there going to be a video package where the devil gloats? Are we're gonna figure this shit out? We're going to know? He's going to gloat about it? No. The lights come back up. And Adam Cole is sitting in the chair that they were going to strike at him. Adam Cole was sitting in the chair, looking menacingly. And then it's revealed that the devil's henchmen are Wardlow, who said he wasn't part of that. And he wanted MJF. He wanted a title. And the Kingdom, who kept saying that this was all a stunt. Roderick Strong was saying all along that MJF was the devil and this was all a ploy. He was acting really stupid, and I guess wasn't that stupid and was just playing, and everyone just believed that Roderick Strong was real dumb. I guess we all just believed it. And then Adam Cole reveals he has the devil mask. This was all a ploy by Adam Cole, Wardlow, and the Kingdom. The Undisputed War Kingdom, which I have named and I do not believe is canon. Which of the guys who are not big like Wardlow won the tag belts? We don't know. Are they going to freebird it where any of them are the Ring of Honor tag champions? I don't know. What does this mean for Wardlow? A guy that they keep fucking with because they're sure that Wardlow has it, but they don't know how to make it happen. And they're just spinning their wheels. And some people are like, this is terrible for Wardlow. And then I'm thinking, this might be great for Wardlow. he's just the muscle in a group where he doesn't have to talk in the microphone. That might be perfect. And you're thinking, why? Well, we don't know. Why did Adam Cole do this? Adam Cole, what did he ever believe it? Was he ever friends with Max? Is this because he actually was mad that he couldn't beat Max for the title, even though they had bangers? Was this him just trying to break Max? Was he never Max's friend? Was he disgusted that Max never turned on him like he should have? We don't know. Now, some people will say this isn't going to work because Adam Cole is such a great babyface. You can't imagine him as a heel because they haven't seen him as a heel in the Indies, in Ring of Honor, in New Japan, and then, of course, in NXT. Adam Cole is a fucking great heel. He is that rare case where he is such a good dude, but he plays such a wonderful scumbag. He is unbelievably great at being a heel. I have no doubt in my mind that he's going to do a fantastic job. I am going to panel line this before I put on the two fins here, because putting these fins on is going to make it difficult for me to panel line underneath it. So I'm going to take these parts out, but I'm not going to attach them until I'm done paneling. Adam Cole is going to do a fantastic job. Wardlow doesn't make any sense, but it's fine. I think it's a totally fine thing. There were reports that Sean Spears, who left the company as of this week, was originally wearing the mask. I don't know if he was supposed to be part of the group and it was just the MJF Haters Club, which would make sense because they used to work together in this company. I don't know. It's weird. And here's the thing. Is it the most obvious one? Yes. It is the most obvious thing. It's the most obvious option they could have gone with. That's not a bad thing. Because if they were just like, well, we have to be clever about it, then it could be someone who's like never interacted with MJF. And it's like, well, that's not interesting. Or it's MJF the whole time. And that doesn't make any fucking sense. Joe gets the belt. Joe is going to be a killer champion. He's going to be fantastic. The rematch, if that happens, will be great. One would assume there might not be a rematch because MJF will be stuck with dealing with all of this for a while. Stuck with, I mean, storyline-wise. And then you can see some other people face Joe. And also, some people are like, it's going to be he's going to be a transitional champion. That's fine. Samoa Joe will survive being a transitional champion just fine. He doesn't have to be in the spotlight the whole time. He'll do just fine being there, doing whatever he wants to do. I have no issue with that. You're glad it's done. Yeah, Lashbrook, that's the thing, right? It's done. Now we can move on. The mystery is solved. Now all we need to know is the why. We can figure out the why at any time, and the why can be easy, of just like, it's always been me, or this was the turning point where I realized we were friends and I hate myself for that, or whatever. You know, whenever it is, whatever they do to justify it. Or everything was great until I got injured, Max. I got injured and I sat with Roddy and we talked about it, and it just couldn't let you keep doing it. Whatever it is, whatever they decide to make it. However they decide to work it, I think it's fine. It'll be fine. But yeah, it's over. It was a fine enough main event. It washed the taste out of the Jay White main event, which is the second worst main event of an AEW pay-per-view, in my opinion, because even if people think that's the worst one ever, I saw Jon Moxley versus Joey Janela at Fyter Fest, which was like incredible. Somehow, the thing is, that should have been a fucking banger because they work well together, but it just sucked ass. It was just like terrible. I don't know what happened with that match. I'll never know. But that's the worst main event for an AEW pay-per-view. because even the Four Pillars match, the build-up was awful because like three of those guys shouldn't have microphones. But by the time they got to the match, that was a fun match. They knew it. They knew they had to step up with the match. It's just the build was real bad. The head is done. The chest is done. The V2 Assault Buster is getting built. Let's move on to one of the shoulders. You can build this part here. That's universal. And then the parts that get attached to it are different. Just going to check something here, right here. Okay, great. So let's start building one of our shoulders now that we've done with the head and the chest. I can't tell you about the rest of the card in the next 15 minutes or so before we take our pause for the cause and do all that. I'll tell you about that. Willow Nightingale defeated Chris Statlander in a match. The story of this is they were goaded into this match by Ring of Honor chairman or member of the board of Ring of Honor, Stokely Hathaway, who is in a hate-respect relationship with Chris Statlander, where they hate each other, but also he respects her, and he wants to, I guess, manage her. I don't know why, but that's a thing. So he goaded them into a match, which, of course, Willow won. The match was great. They had over 10 minutes, which is always nice for a pre-show match involving ladies. Hard-hitting affair, really solid. Suffers at the end. Willow just had trouble getting Statlander up for the Dr. Bomb, which is like a scoop swinging power bomb. And that's her finisher, the Dr. Bomb. She just had trouble getting into it. She like failed, and then you could tell the announcers were like surprised because they were supposed to be selling that's how it was supposed to go. She tried a second time, it didn't work. She tried a third one, and she did a weak ass, not that great looking one and pinned. And that's experience right there. That's just experience of somebody to not call an audible, right? Nobody in that match called an audible. Someone should. I don't know if there'd be either a roll-up or a submission. There was a way to end that match that was different from how they did it. They didn't have to just keep trying to do the finish. So that was a little bit sour on an otherwise great match. There was the 21-man Battle Royale for a future AEW Championship match. It was the Money in the Bank style thing. You win, you get a contract. You get to fill in the name. You get it anytime, any place, anywhere. Guaranteed match. That was won by Killswitch, who was formerly known as Luchasaurus. He has been renamed after the finisher name of Christian Cage, the Patriarch. Killswitch won, which was great. Killswitch spent a good portion of the match buried under a pile of tables along with Lance Archer. There was a moment there where it came down to Killswitch, Trent, and Danhausen. And of course, Trent and Danhausen are work together quite a bit in that because they are both members, of course, of Best Friends. Also, Rocky Romero was in there. Rocky and Trent are in Roppongi Vice. Some good high-flying stuff. There was a moment there where I was like, wait, is Christopher Daniels going to win this? Because that would be funny if Christopher Daniels won this. He didn't win it. Trent did eliminate Danhausen, which he should have waited until there were just two of them. He took an opportunity and then thought he could just eliminate Killswitch, which he could not, although he give a good fight. Trent is very good at being towards the end of these things. And you're like, wait, is Trent going to win this? No, Trent did not win it. Hook defeated Wheeler Yuta in an FTW rules match for the FTW Championship. That is the belt that Hook's dad Taz created, his own Renegade title, the real world champion, the FTW champion. It means fuck the world. To be fair, Trent really didn't lose to Killswitch per se. Yeah. In the end, Kill Switch won. That's the important thing. Anyway, Wheeler Yuta cut a Your Hometown Sucks promo, and he didn't need to do it. Wheeler Yuta is not going to get cheered against Hook in Long fucking Island. Even if Brooklyn and Long Island don't always see eye to eye, or Yonkers and Long Island don't always see eye to eye, it's still New York. Long Island is not fucking New York City. Long Island is goddamn Long Island, but still, there's respect that can be had between the two. Because it's still fucking New York. It's not goddamn Jersey. Not fucking Jersey City over here. So, they had a good match. I don't have much to say about it. There were some good spots. There's some nonsense. At one point, Hook went for the pin, and he doesn't win by pinfall. He wins by submission. And I was like, this can't happen. Oh, no. Okay, good. He didn't win. Oh, there. Great. He later won by submission. So we had 8 men who were in the Continental Classic that did not advance. 2 of the 8 men were in other matches, or 2 of the 10 men that weren't part of it. So the other 8 were in this match. Claudio, Bryan Danielson, Mark Briscoe, and Daniel Garcia. Danny on the face side versus Brody King, Jay White, Jay Lethal, and Roosh. Roosh is kind of a tweener. Claudio always leans more heel these days. Bryan is a tweener. Mark Briscoe is certainly a babyface. And Danny Garcia has been a heel, but he's been fighting with... he has an ongoing beef with Brody King. That was a great match. Jay Lethal, who never got a single point at all in the tournament, took the pin from Daniel Garcia. Danny Garcia getting the big win there. Bryan Danielson kind of snubbing him a little bit. Just worked being a little bit of an asshole. We're getting our first gold pieces in. Get some of this gold on. 1 and 2. Great. But yeah. Solid match. This was the best match on the card up until Christian Cage versus Adam Copeland. That match was... Once that match happened, it became the best match on the card. The best match before that was this. For a very long time, it was the best match of the show. Great working from everybody involved in it. Not much to say. Brody King punched Daddy Magic, who was guest announcing or guest commentating. He got cold cocked by Brody, so that's not over. I think we're going to see the full and complete babyface transformation of one Daniel Garcia. I think it's coming. I think Garcia is going to go full babyface for a little while anyway, which would be good for him. Okay, so this needs to go like this. Oh, there's... these pieces have a little bit of undergating, which you don't normally see on a high grade, but is easy enough to take care of here. Miro defeated Andrade. Reportedly, this is Andrade's last match. His contract doesn't end till next year, but he has been unhappy, vocally unhappy. Everyone has been unhappy with him. This is an ongoing issue with Andrade, but it sounds like he's done. He should, even if he wasn't done, even if he isn't done here, he should have lost this match. CJ, who was the whole fucking storyline is more about CJ than Andrade. CJ's looking for clients. Miro doesn't want her there. She ends up helping Miro win. Miro claims that, he was surprised and he doesn't know what this means. He's going to ask about it, which seems odd. Whatever. It is what it is. It was a fine match. Really feels like a main event on Collision, or even not the main event. Did not feel like it needed to be on this pay-per-view at all. This story is not hot at all, and I don't care about it. And also, I can never get behind Miro because his booking is so bad. Some of which is his own fault, some of which is just like Miro. The thing I said when chatting with people was Miro will never be happy as a wrestler because he wants to be a world champion and no company wants to do that. So he's never going to be happy wherever he is until his priorities change. He's just never going to be happy in a wrestling company because none of them are going to give him the world title. The big ones, anyway. At least in this one, where when he hates the booking and doesn't want to do anything, they just send him home and they pay him. He's not going to get that in WWE. Same with Andrade, but Andrade will be happier in WWE if he goes back. Timeless Tony Storm defeated Riho by pinfall. This match should have been way fucking better than it was. What the fuck? The end was kind of sloppy in a way that was weird. It wasn't even silly. There was a silly spot, and I'm all for that. It's just one of those things where I'm like, they just don't mesh together, I don't think. I don't know. Riho is a phenomenal talent. Toni Storm is having the run of her career right now. She's so fucking good and so fun. I love the Timeless gimmick. I love Luther having a job as the butler. That is a great use of Luther. He doesn't have to take any fucking bumps. He just has to look good in a tuxedo and occasionally carry a small woman around. It's pretty fucking great. But yeah, this match didn't do it for me. It's weird to say that Willow Nightingale and Chris Statlander, even with the messy finish, had the best women's match of the night. Women/non-binary, because of course Abaddon is non-binary, uses they, them. Eventually, I'm just going to skip to that match. Eventually, Excalibur started saying it right, but he certainly didn't say it right in the beginning. And that was frustrating because it's like, God damn it, Excalibur. You are a very good play-by-play commentator. Get the pronouns right. Kevin Kelly, who is a piece of shit in real life and not the best announcer these days, can fucking get pronouns correctly. So could you. He did eventually correct his mistakes, or he stopped making more of them, I should say. He didn't go back and say or anything. He just did it right eventually. But Jesus Christ. That match was fun. Julia Hart needs a finish that she can pull off successfully. The moonsault is not it, friends. This is the second botched moonsault that she has done. She has a submission that is good. She has a submission hold that is like strong and good looking, and she can put it on people and it looks good, and she should stick with that. But the moonsault, like, I don't care if she's a former cheerleader and she's athletic. She can't land the moonsault properly. There's no way around it. It's bad. Got to fix that shit. I don't want to talk about Swerve Strickland and Dustin Rhodes. That match was under 10 minutes. I guess I do want to talk about it. It was under 10 minutes, which is too long for a match where before it started, Dustin got beat the fuck up. My thoughts go out to Keith Lee, who was not cleared to wrestle. It was supposed to be Keith Lee versus Swerve Strickland. That did not happen due to health issues. He was not cleared to wrestle. My heart goes out to Keith. I hope that he has a speedy recovery and that someday they can actually fucking have this match because it's been postponed numerous times. But mostly, it was too long. It was a squash. It was supposed to be a squash, and it was too long of one. And I don't know why that happened like that. It was weird. I guess they were filling the time they had, but just do a fucking shorter match. Doesn't matter. All right. Am I doing this correctly? Yes. Making sure this can bend the way it's supposed to bend. It's bending the way it's supposed to bend. Lashbrook liked both the women's matches on the main show, but yeah, it was a bit of a mess of a show overall. Yeah, I mean, I was just a little underwhelmed by Tony and Rio. They could have had a show stealer. They didn't get a show stealer. And I like Julia and Abaddon. Hey, not enough biting. A thing in the Julia Hart versus Abaddon rule is there were house rules where there's no rope breaks, there's no countouts, and a rule of the challenger's choosing. And the challenger chose biting is allowed, and there are only 2 biting spots. And I feel like if you're going to do a biting is allowed, you got to bite more. Not enough biting. The only other match are Le Sex Gods. Hey, guess what? Weird, friends. Sting won a match. Sting, who was undefeated in AEW, was on the winning team. And fucking Sammy Guevara, a not good babyface, he should not be a babyface, got the fucking pin on Ricky Starks, which means that Le Sex Gods are certainly going to go after that belt. Lots of chants at Jericho and boos at Jericho because internet people believe a reporter weird accusations that don't seem to have actually any water to hold. Not that I'm here to defend Chris Jericho. I'm just saying people are on the internet too much. Again, not here to defend Chris Jericho. Just saying you got to also look at the person making these half-assed accusations, coded accusations in a Twitter thread for brownie points. Got to look at it. Adam Copeland won the TNT title, everybody, in a great no DQ match. Just whooped ass. Just all over the building. Very fun. Finally, a good match on this goddamn card after the 8-man. Something to move it up. Really solid. Really great. This is the last match for me to talk about. Awesome. 25-minute match. Didn't feel like 25 minutes. I'm looking at the time here. Fast-paced. Really well thought out. Great use for both of them. The most I've liked Adam Copeland in here. I thought his trio with Sting and Darby was fine, but this is the most I have liked him at all this entire time. So I thought that was nice. And then, he wins, and he has no time to celebrate because Killswitch comes out and lays out Adam Copeland. Killswitch has he has the title opportunity he won in the pre-show. He can cash that in at any time, and Christian wants it. Remember that Christian won a triple threat match to take the title away from Luchasaurus, now Killswitch, took that belt from him, and then is demanding that title opportunity and whispers something in his ear. He's got some kind of dirt on Luchasaurus or Killswitch. He's got some kind of control over him. And cashes in on a very defeated Adam Copeland. A 11-second match. Christian Cage is your new TNT champion. Adam Copeland will, for most likely forever, have the shortest TNT reign at a few minutes. A handful of minutes. It's a great ending to it. I would like Christian at some point to not have the belt, but I would more like this to be done. I kind of need this to get wrapped up. I need these guys to move on to something else. I don't necessarily need a Luchasaurus face turn immediately, but I do need something to happen. Not That Will Smith is just raided with a party of 32. Welcome, Raiders. Hello. Hello. We'll go to this for a second. Thank you very much, Will. Appreciate you. That's very kind. Let's do the old, let's see. I gotta do this. Copy. And then I gotta do shout out. I'm going to give Will a shout out. There we go. You should follow Not That Will Smith. He's the Will Smith you're thinking of if you're thinking of the technology and internet and podcaster Will Smith and not the actor. If you're thinking that the actor just raided me with a party of 32, you're wrong. But welcome, Raiders. I'm Pat Baer. I build model kits and Lego sets. I'm working on a model kit right now. Let's go back to the overhead. We're working on the V2 Assault Buster Gundam. VR's Will Smith, indeed. This is a kit that we just started tonight. Look at all the progress we've made. This isn't an hour's work. I have made this amount of progress. I'm very pleased with it. For the next hour, I will be continuing to work on a model kit. When that model kit is done, or when I'm done working on the model kit, well, at 11 p.m., I'm going to switch over to PowerWash Simulator, and we'll do that until the new year. But we do need to acknowledge that Bunny Fiend, I can take these away. Bunny Fiend just gifted 40 subscribers. I got Bunny Fiend. Oh yes, I have been Bunny Fiend before. Crimes have been committed. Yes, this is a bunny crime. This is not the first time that a bunny crime has transpired, which is wonderful. So first, let's throw the Barricade Lego site Tier 2 Blue emote in chat. Let the people throw those in there as we'll do another round of applause here to the 40 people who have gotten a gift sub, well past our goal of 50. Bunny Fiend is a champion, like Eddie Kingston. Always be clothing. You're right. Yes, enjoy everybody your gifted subs. I am now well past my goal of 50. I shut up about trying to get the subscribers when I get to 50, which is wonderful. Thank you to everybody that now has the sub. Enjoy your gifted sub. To all those people, our sub goal got completed, which is rad. Thank you, Bunny Fiends. Always appreciate you. Thank you so much for that. I did want to say, if anybody else wanted to save some money, I'll just say the bonus thing is here. We'll just put that in because it's bonus days here. 25% off new subs, 25% off gifted subs until January 2nd. So the Bunny Fiend did save a little bit of money there, which is great. Yeah. We were talking about the AEW pay-per-view pre-raid, and I was pretty much done with what I wanted to talk about there, because I did go over just about every match. I kind of skipped over one match. But yeah, I kind of did. For those that came in on this raid that don't know me, I guess I should keep talking while I work on this model kit. I'll keep chatting about that. I don't normally stream on Sunday, but because it's New Year's Eve, I decided I wanted to do a New Year's Eve stream. So I'm streaming tonight. Also, I did watch a wrestling pay-per-view last night, and so I decided that I would just do this instead, because that would be fun. So yeah, I'm streaming tonight until 11 p.m. I'm going to be working on this model kit, which we started at 9 p.m. And then from 11 p.m. until slightly before midnight here on the East Coast, I'm going to hang out. And then and play PowerWash Simulator. They added a free bonus stage that is Santa's Workshop, and I haven't done much of it. So we'll do that. We'll hang out. We'll do a little PowerWash Simulator. And then as we get closer to midnight, we will ring in the new year together, and then we will probably raid, because 3 hours is kind of my limit. If you're wondering, Pat, why don't you just build model kits for 3 hours instead of building for 2 and then switching? It's because I know my limits. And one of my limits is that after 2 hours, I get kind of bad at model kit building. I just kind of lose focus a little bit. I could probably do Lego for 3 hours without a problem. But model kits, I'm splitting my focus here. I am trying to do a good job with the model kit and everything that entails clipping the right parts, putting it together properly, reading or following instructions that sometimes have no English text. In this case, that is true. Getting stickers applied correctly, paint aligning them to make it look nice, using the markers, all that. And after 2 hours, I just got kind of bad. And you can't fix model kit fuck-ups. Bobby Dice Roller, let's throw Bear Cave Lego site Tier 2 Blue emote in chat. Bobby Dice Roller, subscribed, 36 months. Bobby says, "Hi, Pat. I know I don't chat as often these days, but I still lurk. Love what you do." Bobby, thank you so much. I appreciate you. Thank you for 36 months. That's fantastic. I should just say, though, friends, you never have to apologize for being a lurker. Being a lurker is fine. While I do love when people want to engage and want to hang out and chat, because that's wonderful. It's okay to be a lurker. You can just kick back and watch, but if you want to participate in chat, you're welcome to, is what I say about being a lurker. You're more than welcome to just hang out. It's lovely that you chose to spend some time with me. If you want to chat, that's also great, because there are days where there's not a lot of activity here, and it's just kind of me plugging along, doing my thing. And those days, it can feel a little rough getting into the swing of things. So yeah, don't feel like you have to apologize for just kind of hanging out. It's okay. Let's panel line this, and then we'll move on. Thank you for the follow, Triforce Vigor. Thank you. Friends, if you haven't followed me already, you can hit the follow button there so you know when I go live. I normally stream Mondays and Thursdays and Saturday nights, 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. Eastern, model kit building. And then Tuesday from 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. Eastern time, I play video games or talk about wrestling or hang out. This past Tuesday, I played or I talked about anime last week. Thank you for the follow. Always be clothing. Appreciate that. Bobby, thank you so much for all the gifted subs. I'll say these: Rubik, Dark Will, Death Scythe, Lasidius, Brozart, and Otter Dates. Sorry, Otter Dates. I said other dates. That's not your name. Thank you for everybody. Thank you so much for that. I appreciate it very much. Yeah, thanks to folks for their continued support. It means a lot. And for making my subathon in January a little easier. Because we got to break my goal in January. And it'll be a lot easier with all these gifted subs, which won't expire by the time I do it. So that'll also be very cool. Normally, I do my pause for the cause, where I talk about ways you can support the channel, but we got a bunch of people here. We're rolling. It's past 10 anyway, so I'm not going to do that. I will just I will put one link. I'll put a couple links in the chat right now for your leisure. If you want to know about my top 10 anime of 2023, because some people look forward to that. For a couple of years there, I was doing guest lists at Giant Bomb. I started by doing video games, and then I switched to just, for 2 years, just talking about anime instead. Because in 2020, I didn't play enough video games, but I watched a lot of anime. I have a video of my anime top 10, and then I also have a written list on my co-host, which you can read here if you'd rather read it. And I think that's the only thing I'll mention there. I guess I'll do one other plug for myself before we keep talking and hanging out here. I guess I will talk. I'll just mention I have an Amazon wish list. If you want to buy something for my Amazon wish list, you can check that out. There's a link there. I got a bunch of stuff. That's the most important, probably, of all the links. Because I refreshed it. I put some new stuff in there. Inexpensive kits, very expensive kits, kits of all shapes, sizes. Some gear at the bottom, because sometimes people want to help me out, but they don't know what to buy. And I will say that I am closing the poll. I had a poll, friends, about what model kit that I should buy. Because I have Amazon gift cards. I got some Amazon gift cards. And a yearly tradition of mine is that I take those Amazon gift cards and I buy something expensive. Now, I could just buy multiple model kits with that if I wanted to. I could just buy a bunch of model kits with, this year, $75. Sometimes it's about $100. Sometimes usually it's between $75 and $100 in gift cards. But what if instead of buying reasonable priced model kits, what if instead of that, I just bought an expensive model kit? And I have done that. Or I will do that, I should say. But I know what it is because the poll happens, so I can find it. Here's the image. This is the kit that won the poll that I am buying on Amazon. This is the Amplified Blue Eyes White Dragon from Yu-Gi-Oh! Amplified means that this is not show or manga or card accurate. Amplified is the Bandai designers a chance to get weird with it. I have built a Digimon amplified kit that was very cool. This is my first. This will be my first time doing a dual monsters card. So yeah, so it's the Blue Eyes White Dragon amplified. Bobby, it's been a long time. I am an original OG Yu-Gi-Oh fan. The Zero series, which was the early manga before they really zoned in on Duel Monsters. But yeah, I'm an early dub watcher and an early subtitle watcher of the original series. I've dabbled in some of the other Yu-Gi-Oh series, but none of them got a foothold in me. I just never did. I think if I had been a bit younger, XD or the one where they're in school, the like Duel Monster school, I think that one would have hit me if I had been a little younger, but I wasn't, so it did not hit me. It's hard. XD maybe, I can't remember. And the one where they're all on motorcycles, I want to get into. And someday I will. The one where they play Yu-Gi-Oh, where they duel monsters, but they're on bikes, because I'm on board with that nonsense. But yeah, and I used to play Duel Monsters. I'd never played the cards with the cards because you would have to buy cards. But I would buy the Game Boy Advance games, because every other year the Game Boy Advance game was just all of the cards. It was like the legit card, and you could just play with a link cable. And I had friends that also played it. Ooh, I'm dropping. Yeah, I'm getting a bit of a bad internet connection here for a second, friends. Hopefully this will pop back up without a problem. But if you're noticing a connection issue there, my apologies. But we should be okay. All right, it's getting better. It's looking good. I have it set in OBS where I don't drop frames. Instead, I drop kilobytes. And so that was happening there. But it looks okay. Bobby says, I think we're a similar age, and I sort of feel the same. It seems like a hella cool thing if only I were that age. Yeah, but the original Yu-Gi-Oh! Super on board for. Very much enjoyed my time with that and playing the cards. And so I'm excited to work on the Amplified Blue Eyes White Dragon, which I am going to purchase. We'll go to this, and I just give me a second here, because I gotta reach over my build surface here, because I know that this is an expensive thing, so I want to get it as soon as possible here. Also, because there's only a couple left on Amazon, so I took all of them off my wish list. All the 3 options I took off the wish list, and I'll put them back in later. Okay. Purchased. It has been purchased. It will arrive sometime between January 5th and January 9th, which is not true. I'm going to say that's not true. It cost me $3.74, 72 cents, I should say, after, because I did have to use gift cards and then a little bit of my own cash. It is not shipped yet, but since it is coming, or I don't know if it's coming from Japan or not, but my guess is that it won't actually arrive. It's coming from a Bandai fulfillment center. It might arrive. Okay. Toy Arena. Toy Arena here. Good feedback from Toy Arena, who are selling it. They are Amazon A to Z, so it'll be packed. Okay, it's from California, so theoretically it'll get here at some point, but I don't know when it'll arrive, because it might not get shipped at a reasonable time because of the new year. So I can't say for sure that it'll get here, when it'll get here in January, but it'll be here at some point, and I'll be able to build a very expensive model kit. We can go back to the overhead. Lashberg says, I remember having one of those Yu-Gi-Oh! GBA card games, eventually learn the AI and just stop playing normally and play it only to bait the AI into things. Yes, you could cheat the AI pretty easy in a lot of those. Especially, there were the championship years editions, which were just the card game with the rules of that year. And then there was the off years, which were the weird, wacky rules. And those you could really cheese because they didn't program it always that great. but it was a good time. All right, so we need this. We need one of these. We are assembling an arm for this kit. So we'll do that. I'm going to drink a little water right now. All right. About 40 minutes left of building. Then we're going to hang out. I had an anime to chat. I'm not going to chat about that tonight, I don't think. We'll do anime chat on tomorrow's stream because I know the name Toy Arena. They're a toy website, shockingly enough. Yes. Yeah. Zom 100 Bucket List of the Dead. This is informational, friends. I am going to share some information with you that maybe you can make use of. I don't know. Zom 100 Bucket List of the Dead was a summer anime from 2023 that I enjoyed quite a bit. It is the story of a immediate apocalyptic event. Zombies are real and they're out there, and we are starting by following one man named Akira, who the zombie apocalypse is kind of great for him. We got this like bleak office worker stuck in a dead end. Does not have time working this job to even think about trying to get another job, kind of broken down on the world. And color comes to his life when he realizes that life is over. And now he can try to fulfill his bucket list of all the things he'd like to do. Meets up with a childhood friend, meets some other people as he goes through it. Saves the day on numerous occasions. Some things don't go well. Some things go very well. It's a very fun, strange little series that I enjoy quite a bit. They had a lot of production issues, unfortunately. Some were COVID related. Some seemingly were just bad production issues that gave them a lot of problems. And so the show ended at episode 9. It had been several delays had happened. The episodes get pushed back. They aired a special early that they didn't necessarily need to air originally. And then it looked like there might not be a show, but it did come back. They ended up airing all 3 episodes, 10, 11, and 12, all aired on Christmas Day in Japan. So I've watched the first 2 of those final 3. And I'll talk about those, I think, tomorrow. But right now, I want to talk to you about some things I've been reading. We'll do normally we do Manga Monday, but let's do Manga Sunday. It doesn't have the same ring. It's no Soletta Sunday, but it's what we've got right now. We can talk about a series that I have been enjoying. I would say quite a damn bit. Manga Sunday. The Brilliant Healer's New Life in the Shadows is, look, it's a banished, okay? It's a kicked. I think I'm just going to start calling them kicked because I think kicked is the way to go. There is a very popular trend in light novels, which makes it a popular trend in manga, which is starting to make it a popular trend in anime. It's probably still a year off. There have been some. Banished from the Hero's Party has season 2 coming out. There have been some of them. But for the most part, it is not overwhelmed the anime scene, but it is a very popular subgenre. Sometimes they are isekais, different world anime. Sometimes they're not. They are just people doing things, anime. But the premise is the same, generally. The main character is awesome. And the people around him, through either jealousy or incompetence, don't understand that the main character is awesome. And so they kick the main character out. Banished from a kingdom, kicked out of the Hero's Party, thrown out of the guild, whatever it is. And then, almost immediately, that person has a fantastic life and very few problems because they're awesome. Now, on occasion, there's a twist in that formula. Sometimes getting kicked out was the trigger, because it allows the person to remember their memories because they're a reincarnation or they're an isekai character. So then they remember their abilities. Sometimes they were hiding their own abilities. And now that they're free of the society they didn't want to live in, they can do whatever they want. Or there are rare cases where it's actually you banishing me to this place. Like there's an enchanter guy. Once he gets sent to the demon realm, he levels up because he's been exposed to an element that is only in the demon realm. So now he's incredible. He was already a good enchanter. Then he becomes an incredible enchanter. So it kind of goes from that. This is the classic one. Our dude was from the slums. He was Xanos was from the slums. He's lived a very hard life, but he worked his way up. He became a healer. He got taught by a legendary healer, and he studied really hard, and he became a fantastic healer. He gets picked up by an adventurer, joins the party. He's just healing people. He's doing the thing he's supposed to do. Here's the thing. He's too good at it. He's healing them from long distance before they can even acknowledge they got injured. He's not like pre-healing them, but he's instantaneously healing them so they don't notice that they're being injured. So they don't believe him when he's like, so even though he's picking up the slack and doing other things, they're just inexperienced and foolish, and they don't understand that he's so good at it that it doesn't register that he's that good. So they get rid of him because, he's just some poor anyway. And they don't need him because obviously they never get hurt anyway. And obviously that comes to bite them in the ass, and they have to pay for that because clearly he's awesome and they don't recognize it. But here's the thing. He doesn't want to be an adventurer anymore. He was never really an adventurer to begin with. He was just working a job. So he's out from that. He's done with that. He's going to be a healer. He wants to open up a clinic. As you can see for the title there, Life in the Shadows, because he is still considered to be a low-class society person. He didn't get out of that. He can't just open up a clinic. No one's going to let that happen. So he does it in secret. He gets a secret location. He saves someone along the way who decides that she is going to become his receptionist. And he opens up a clinic and he starts healing people. Of course, a lot of people from the slums. And a lot of the slums, there are 3 gangs that kind of fight the slums and fight each other for control. They're all, there's a lizard person and a dog person, a wolf and another one. I can't remember the third. They're all various, and of course all the races stick to their own kind, except for this human they like. And, it's his adventures. And of course, there's an alliance formed because he's like, yeah, I'm healing all of you. I'm not going to choose any side. I'm going to heal everybody. And if you want me to keep doing this, you have to get along. So there's an alliance, which of course, it is believed by the Royal Knights that the slums will grow in their own power unless you keep them, you've got to keep them fighting against each other. So they're trying to figure out what stopped the fighting and all that. But of course, the knights are led by a woman who is, of course, smitten by our main character. And also, each of the clans is the different gangs are all surprisingly led by women who are all also very much interested in our main dude. Oh, there's a ghost as well where they moved in is haunted, and he's just like, yeah, well, I can hurt you with holy healing, so we're just going to live here. You can live in the basement. And she ends up kind of liking them as well. She's a little bit of the comic relief, but also kind of the Greek chorus because she's aware. She's like, no, everybody, I understand what's going on. Everyone's catching feelings. Like, shouldn't say that, but, that's the approximation of her opinion. And it's like, yeah, it's an easy read. It's totally something that I think, like, if you like the kind of fun action series where it's not too ridiculous. It's pretty, in some parts, pretty laid back, pretty damn enjoyable. You could do way worse, I guess. It's a weird thing to say, but you could definitely do way worse. Let me build. Okay, so I got to build. We built one arm. We're gonna work on the other arm. Yeah, you could do way worse. Is like such a cop out. It's a fun series. I recommend it. I think that if you're looking for something fun, then maybe you'll like The Brilliant Healer's New Life in the Shadows. Now, jumping from manga over to South Korea, let's talk about a manhwa called The Constellations Are My Disciples. It's a title where you go, oh, okay. I need to inform you that with 50 chapters of this manhwa, the main character has learned that the constellations are his former disciples like 5 chapters ago. It's been fucking slow on the uptake as far as that goes. Here's what I can tell you. A tower showed up, and people had to challenge the tower, and they have hunters' powers. It is very common in these kind of stories. Our main dude defeated the Lord of the Tower, saved humanity for a time. He was supposed to die in that tower, but instead he got reincarnated into a 17-year-old that has a similar name to his name. And the tower is there still. And he doesn't remember a lot. He remembers his past, but he doesn't remember everything about his past. He doesn't remember what his name was. He's lost his name. And someone that he fought before is now like tied to him, which is weird. So he wants to get his powers back. He's going to get stronger, and he's eventually going to defeat the tower. So that's his main motivation is, I'm going to get stronger. I'm going to defeat the tower again. I'm going to figure out why I got reincarnated and what's going on. Much later, we discover that constellations, which are very strong humans that lose their name and their power, or in some of their power, become constellations that can grant power to humans. We meet one of them who still doesn't have a name, but they remember who they are, and they reconnect, and that's very fun. But most of this is, hey, what if a dude who's really strong is in the body of a guy who doesn't necessarily seem that strong, and he just whoops everyone's ass? If you are looking for a manhwa where the main character whoops a whole lot of ass, then I recommend The Constellations Are My Disciples, because this dude, like, you're an assassin? Yeah, okay, sure. You're coming at, like, I stopped you from attacking someone, so now you're going to fight me? Yeah, sure, all right. Yeah, no problem. Get out of here. Just no issues, no problems. Our main character has no problem doing whatever he needs to do. The Stone Cold of manga. Yeah. I mean, it's just like a very strong guy. Ooh. This piece, I messed up my order. I need to remove this piece, and you can see, you might be able to see here. You can see this line right there. That's a crack. I have broken this piece because I need to put a connector here. I did it in the wrong order. I fucked up. So I'm going to remove this, do my best to remove it. I'm going to put the part in that I need to put in. I'm going to replace this, and then I'm going to hit this part with a lot of liquid cement. And I'm going to, I am going to attempt to repair it. Now, this piece is how the arm connects here. You can see this other piece here. It is how the arm connects. So it is important. Basically what it means is that this arm is going to be a little bit frail and is not going to hold up too well, which is a shame. Harold just cheered 15 bits. Thank you very much, Harold. Happy New Year, my friend. So yeah, that is a wolf because that is a part that you don't want to see have any damage. But I am going to hit it with liquid cement. And basically what I'm going to end up doing is I'm going to cement the arm in place eventually. And it just won't, I won't have a lot of flexibility with that arm. And it will be okay. It won't be great, but it'll be okay. The real problem is, can I get this piece out to get the connector in without it breaking because it is in an odd spot. where I kind of have to use snippers. I'm going to use my old snippers, and I kind of have to just rock it back and forth here. I could make this way worse, unfortunately. In an attempt to fix this, I could make it way worse. I didn't. I got it off. I got it off enough. I don't even have to do the full way here. So, it is kind of rare that I have to do repairs on stream, but it does happen because sometimes I screw up. I am human. Now, with Lego, when I screw up in Lego, that's easy to fix. When I screw up in model kits, that's harder. So, let's get this in place. Oh, yeah. So, it fully snapped off, which is what I was afraid of. So, what we'll do is we'll get this sealed up here, and then we will apply some liquid cement. It just means that our shoulder here is not going to be as secure as I would like it to be. Yeah. But what I'll end up doing is I'm going to liquid cement it to the piece that broke off, also to the connector for the arm. And we are just going to have less flexibility on this arm. And that's going to be okay. We'll do that in a bit. I want to finish building the shoulder here so that it is as complete as possible. This is not the first time that I have fucked up in this way, but it is certainly frustrating. I need H17. This is H1457. Okay, great. Yeah, so this is not, like, I'm not, like, sweating it. We'll make it work. It is a connector. We certainly don't want connector pieces to break, but what I'll end up giving up a little bit of flexibility in order to just have components that are at least stable. And then I just kind of have to hope that all of the glue the liquid cement, I should say, that I put on there works. Liquid cement is not glue. It is actually an agent that melts a fine layer of the plastic. And so it basically melts two pieces of plastic together. It is meant for glue kits, not necessarily for working on kits like this because it's a snap kit, so you shouldn't have to glue anything. But it is good for repairs like we are doing here. We're going to be using it to repair, which is, again, not what I want to be doing, but it is what we are doing. It happens. Yeah, is there anything else that I need to tell you about the Constellations Are My Disciples? Yeah, it's just an easy read. I think that is a totally enjoyable. I would say that you should check it out if you are looking for something to read and you've never tried a South Korean comic. If you're unfamiliar, they are vertical comics. They have because the target audience is Korean folks on their phones. So it is read as one big panel, continuous panel, and you scroll wheel it up. Vertical comics are becoming slightly popular in Japan. There is a movement to take traditional Japanese manga and basically redo them in the vertical style, and so you can sell them again to people. But it's also meant for people on their phones to just scroll with their thumb. It takes a little getting used to. I don't really read them on my phone. I mostly read them on a computer. So then you're just constantly using the scroll wheel instead of turning the page. But I think it's totally fine. And they're often in full color. And unfortunately, the manga industry churns through people because they are expected to do weekly comics in full color, which is a nightmare. It's bad news. It can be very bad news. Yeah, it can be pretty rough because they just have people who are constantly just burned out in that industry, both writers and artists. Real rough. Some great works. Solo Leveling is going to be the anime of the season. That is based on manhwa. That is gonna hit people real hard. Oops, I forgot another piece. Broke a piece and also forgot a piece. I'm I'm not doing gangbusters here. I can actually get that in 8 to 11. I can get that in without separating these parts. And then we'll have some fun with some liquid cement. We'll do a little liquid cementing and fix the problem that I caused for myself. It's always fun. At this part of the stream, I want to hear from you, friends. We got a bunch of friends joining us tonight, which is always fun. Are you playing any games? Do you have time off right now? Are you using that to play some video games, or watching some TV, catching up on some television, or going to the movies, or what? What's going on? Reading anything? Let me know in the chat what you're up to while I wait for folks to write some stuff in the chat, because of course I'll read it and we'll talk about it. Obviously, I've been watching some wrestling, trying to catch up on some anime. I haven't really played any games lately. Yesterday, I did play more of Persona 4 Golden with mods. I am in the new game plus of Persona 4 Golden with mods. I'm really enjoying my time with that. Trying to do a few social links I didn't do the previous time. Not trying to do all the social links because I refuse to hang out with Adachi. I'm just not going to do that social link. But I am going to go through it because I want to do... I haven't done a new game plus in that game in a very long time. I got all these mods. It makes life easier. But also, I want a new game plus because I think it would be very fun to do the Empress, Margaret's bonus dungeon, which you can only do in New Game Plus. So I am applying some liquid cement here, and then I am going to apply some pressure. This part is not going to just naturally go back to where it wants to be with the part it broke off from. So I'm going to connect it a little bit to the rubber poly cap, the rubberized plastic, which will give it some structure. And then when I feel good about this, I am going to add more liquid cement to the joint, to the ball, and then I'm going to add it to the socket here. So basically, I'm going to fuse this. So the shoulder is going to be, I'm going to try to lock the shoulder into this kit. That is the goal here. And so I'm going to add a little bit more liquid cement, and we're going to let this dry for a while here and work on the arm. Let's add some cement there. Because eventually, I am going to lock it in place. So this will be able to freewheel and move around, and the other arm will not be able to do that because it'll snap off because this is not going to be strong. That's not going to be a strong connection. So that's the best I can do is just fuse it together as best I can. It will still look good. It just won't be as posable as one would like. And then we'll let that sit and dry while I work on the arm. And while I work on this arm, I will see what some of y'all have had to say. Lego Fortnite got me into Fortnite no build. I have no regrets. Hell yeah. Croy, that's awesome. I still have not played Lego Fortnite. That is, I'm saving that for January. That is going to be part of, I believe that is, I'm pretty sure that's going to be part of my subathon, my annual subathon, which will be the last Tuesday in January. I'm going to play Lego Fortnite for the first time. That'll be like a stretch goal. Not stretch. It won't be a stretch. It'll be an incentive goal, like as I try to break my record. Because I think that will be something that people would be interested in seeing me check out. So we'll probably do that next month. Triforce Vigor says, playing Dredge and listening to you. Well, I appreciate that. I hope you're having a good time with Dredge. Hell yeah. Harold is checking out Super Mario RPG Remake and more Pocket Trucks. Pocket Trucks seems fun. And listening to a lot of old bare naked ladies on my walks back and forth to my parents' house to let the dog out. Yes. Harold, if you were wondering who let the dog out, it's Harold. It's H-Bomb and Friends. Harold let the dog out. And then let the dog back in, and then let the dog out again. Lashbrook spent a good portion of the day setting up the new 1.0 release of Daggerfall Unity and trying that out. Pro tip, save as soon as you get into the game, because if you die, you have to do the character creation all over again. What the fuck? That sounds like a 1.1 update needs to happen, Lashbrook. Again, folks, this is Lashbrook is giving us a goddamn public service announcement. So I'll repeat what Lashbrook has said here. The 1.0 release of Daggerfall Unity, save as soon as you get into the game, because if you die, you have to do the character creation all over again. That's busted. That's some busted bullshit right there. That ain't good. That ain't cool. That's some junk right there. Lord Crashton says, I finished up Season's Greetings DLC for Lake. That was a lot of fun. Oh, yeah. Yeah. That did sound fun. You were talking about that. I'm glad you finished it up, because that does sound neat. I'm glad you had a good time with it. Dirty is replaying Horizon Zero Dawn. Finishing up the 11th Doctor specials. Ready to get into the Capaldi era. Hell yeah. Last says, it's an engine port of like a 30-year-old game, so I'm not too surprised saving is terrible. Yeah, all right. I guess. Still, you'd think there would be a way to hack in a better save state. And John, we will be watching the movie Heat until midnight. Hell yeah. That's a great movie. And a fun thing. Also, John, shout outs to your partner. I believe your partner hit a world record, a speed run record. Mew Yabby, shout outs to Mew Yabby. Let me see if I can find the information here. I just remembered. Yes. Mew Yabby got the world record back again. Now another world record holder for Mech Warrior 4 Mercenaries. Congratulations to Mew Yabby for holding the speedrunning record for Mech Warrior 4 Mercenaries. That whips ass. This is very cool. That was shared with me in the in my Discord, and I was like, that is fun. That is a fun thing to find out. I was very pleased. Just says, thanks for the shout out there. Well, of course. That's just cool as hell. I don't know. I thought that was rad. I'm very happy for you. Congratulations. This goes like this. Working on the arm. It's always fun when I do something that I've just done before. Like I just built this arm, but then occasionally I start working on the other arm and I'm like, now how does this work? And it's like, Pat, you already did this not too long ago. It's just that I've built so many model kits. I've just built so many model kits over the years that I kind of sometimes forget what the parts of a model kit are and how they work together. Like I've done so many Iron Blood, I built every high grade of the Iron Blood Orphan line, like every single mass-produced high grade for Iron Blood Orphans. That like, even then, sometimes I'll be like, "What's this supposed to be doing?" Because they're weird kits, because they're demonic in nature, not humanoid in nature, so they get a little weirdy. And then I'm just like, I don't know what I'm supposed to do here. I did play Hearthstone. I don't know why. Sometimes I know why I play. I don't know why I bring it up, but I do play it every day. That is my daily driver game. That is my check-in everyday game. I still have a lot of fun playing Hearthstone. Currently playing a standard deck and a couple wild decks. I'm having a good time with that. I'm not high ranked this month. I don't think I'm going to get too high ranked. Trying to get back to platinum in wild. We'll see how that goes, but trying to just get to platinum 10 and I'll be happy. But I'm having a good time with it. I need to put a few more, like this month, it's over, right? Like today was the day to try to get to platinum 10 and I didn't get to it. I just didn't have the time. Yesterday I made some good progress. And so I thought that today I might get to it, but it's fine. I was in gold 2 today. So I was like, that's pretty good. Or diamond 2 or whatever. I did pretty all right. But I still have fun playing Hearthstone. Still a good time. And I'm not at the level where I run into bots, which ruin the game for a lot of people and people hate. Because there are a lot of bots in Hearthstone, unfortunately. But supposedly the native Chinese servers are coming back, which means that a lot of the Chinese bot farms will hopefully return to the Chinese servers and not be on the American and European servers, which is a bummer for Chinese players, but great for me and for, players in general. So as much as I hope they don't, people still like playing the game and all that, it'll be great if I don't have to deal with that as much. All right. We're working on the arm here. We're now in the assembly stage of our arm, which is good. We're giving this plenty of time to dry. We'll give it a little more time, and then we are going to put some liquid cement on there and then attach it to the chest here. Lord Crasher says, I do need to watch Pokemon Concierge now that it's out on Netflix. That is out on Netflix, yeah. I still have Netflix for a bit here before my month goes up and I don't renew it, because that's how I run with that service. So I probably should watch that before I don't have access to it. The anime season begins tomorrow. I will be talking about a new anime on tomorrow at 9 p.m. Eastern. We're not done here, but I do want to plug my normal Monday night stream is tomorrow, where I will be talking about a new show called Fluffy Paradise. It's coming to Crunchyroll. It's an isekai about somebody who dies and gets the chance to reincarnate and wants to be around fluffy, fun things. And it sounds like it's mostly chill, except when it isn't. But I do think the parts that aren't chill seemingly get resolved pretty quickly. I mean, I might be wrong, but that's how it vibed to me. And that sounds fun. I'm looking forward to that. I'm going to watch an isekai called Fluffy Paradise. It sounds good. That's coming out tomorrow. That'll be on Crunchyroll. Pick that up, which is good. I just assume whatever you watch is an isekai unless you specify it isn't. Yeah, I mean, look, there are so many isekai out there, folks. I don't watch all of them. I do watch most of them. I do watch a good amount of them. But yeah, like I said, I don't watch all of them. Fluffy Paris coming tomorrow. Then it's a couple more days before Bottom Tier Character, which I'm not watching season 2. It's actually a few days before there's anything that I do want to watch. Delicious in Dungeon is... I guess I'm going to have to keep... So I have to make a choice, friends. Do I keep playing or keep paying Netflix? Because Delicious in Dungeon is a Netflix series. Or do I not watch it weekly and just wait until the series has gone up and then get Netflix again? And I have not made that decision yet either, folks. I have not made the decision if I am going to keep paying Netflix on a monthly to watch this for 3 months or just marathon it later. I will know in 3.5 days if the first episode is good or not before my subscription expires. So I will have some time so I can at least watch the first episode before I make my decision. But I have not made that decision yet. I do not know if I'm going to keep paying or not. Yeah, I have to figure that out because, kind of need to know. That's frustrating. I'm not going to watch that. And then, there's a few days before High Dive has the first show I want to watch. That's still 3.5 days away. So really 4 before I watch My Instant Death Ability is Overpowered, which is an isekai. That is a fun premise for a show of a different world anime. What if you got summoned to a different world and you didn't get any cool skills in that world? But it doesn't matter because on Earth, you were overpowered already. Because you can just want something to die and it will. So that is... And that manga fucking goes weird places. The manga and light novel go some real weird places. Which I don't think they'll get to in the anime. But It is a fun enough premise that I was like, you know what? Yeah, okay, sure. I'm gonna check in with that. That seems like I want to see how that's adapted. I want to see how the voice actor does with that role of being pretty laid back. Um, Last week says, I haven't read the manga, so if anything, I would wait until Delicious Dungeon is over and sub to Netflix for a month. I mean, yeah, I like this. I like the series, the manga of it. Also, it must be said, Trigger is doing the adaptation, and Trigger is a fine enough studio, but they are a very horny studio, and so I'm a little worried that they might really make Delicious in Dungeon, or Dungeon Meshi as it is referred to, that they might really horn things up, and I don't need that. I'm a little afraid. They're just such a horny goddamn studio. I mean, it'll look beautiful, but I'm a little worried about it. Um, Also, coming in a few days, another isekai that I am excited about, Sasaki and Peeps, or Sasaki and Peachan. Uh, that is about a lonely man in his 40s, office worker who decides he's going to get a pet, and he goes to a pet store and gets a bird. And then that bird is very pleasantly surprised to realize that finally someone can understand me, because that bird is a wizard from a different world. And for whatever reason, I don't know why, takes his new companion to that world. I assume to figure out why he got turned into a bird. So we just have a very reasonable 40-year-old man who's just like, okay. And it's also a magical girl series, because I believe that he ends up with a party, some of whom are magical girls. And it seems like it would just be like a regular old action series, but it might have some humor in it. And also the first episode is an hour. Crunchyroll has that. I love that when I find out a show, like the first episode is long. That's such a nice thing to know ahead of time, so I can plan for it. Lord Crash says, I got a new ass game, auto, a shooter, in the Steam winter sale called Death Must Die, which is a pretty good name, I gotta say. That's a pretty cool name. It's pretty cool, though multiple characters talk with emoticons and text lingo, or TXT lingo, and that is very annoying, according to Lord Crashton. The vibes of the world and the action are pretty serious, so it's jarring for me. Okay, yeah, it's like a weird disconnect where it's pretty action-focused, and then sometimes it's goofy. Yeah, that's weird. All right, I am going to hit some liquid cement on this, and then we're going to hit some liquid cement on the ball joint. Just going to hit this ball joint with some cement here. Get that going, and then we'll hit the connector here. So basically, we're just going to fuse this arm. We are looking to do that. We are just going to try to lock this all in place. It won't look as, it won't have a lot of good poses going in, but it shouldn't come apart. And then also, if it does come apart, it'll be fairly easy to redo it and kind of repair it. So we're just putting it in like that. And we're going to let the liquid cement glue this together. So we'll have plenty of movement with this for weapons and stuff. And then the weapon that's going to connect to this, I'll just have to carefully attach it to the hand. I'm not going to liquid cement the hand, so it'll have some movement. It's going to be pretty locked. And that'll make up for my own personal failing and mistake. And we're going to wrap. Ooh, what happened here? Ooh, I have gotten disconnected. Oh, I'm back. Okay. You might need to refresh, everybody. My apologies. You might need to refresh there, because my connection went a little bad, but we didn't get disconnected though, which is nice. But yeah, that connection went a little south. let's see. I'm going to do something here in a minute. Let me see here. You're all good? Okay. I thought I had a weird disconnect there, but we seem all right. All right, that's good. Let's see. I need to add something here. I'm going to add that. Okay, good. It does ape the Hades style of having its hot gods talk to you sometimes when level upgrades pop in. Well, that's weird. And that it's, I mean, it's not weird that someone's aping that style, right? Like, that's not weird at all. That makes a lot of sense that people would be doing that. I guess I shouldn't say that's weird. All right, so we're going to put this here. I'm going to put this there. I'm going to minimize this. Hey, friends. So we're going to be streaming for another hour. In order to stream for another hour, I'm going to run some ads. I'm going to take a photo of the work I did here. And so while I take this photo, I am going to run a 30-second ad break, which should get us to the end of the hour here, because it's 11 p.m. now. That should get us to midnight without people having to see ads that I can't control. So I am going to control those ads. So if you're not a subscriber, if you're not already a subscriber or get a gift sub from Bobby or Bunny Fiends, my apologies. But I'm going to take a photo during this 30 seconds, and you're going to watch some ads right now. And I'll be back, and then we're going to do some PowerWash Simulator in 30 seconds or more. Okay, here you go. Let's see if that works. I believe it will. It did. Great. Let me take a photo here. I'll do it on that. So yeah, that's 30 seconds will mean that I have an hour's worth of streaming without any problems. So that's good. All right. I took a photo of that. That's done. And we're almost done with our ads here. Not too many ads. Not too long of an ad break. But I wanted to finish this up so I could turn off overhead here. And we're back. My apologies for that 30-second ad. But that did allow me to not have ads that I can't control start soon, which is great. So, you know, that's nice. But now I have finished with my model build. I'll just show you right here. That's what we got here. We got a lot of progress done on this kit, considering we started with it not built at all. It's pretty good. Push some stuff aside. I don't need this out anymore. My build surface. So what's going to happen now? What's going to happen now is I am going to switch over to PowerWash Simulator. And then for the next, I don't know, 50-something minutes, I'm going to play PowerWash Simulator. Because as I said, folks, once we hit the 2-hour mark, I'm not great at model kit building. But I can power wash with the best of them. So we'll do that. And then we'll ring in the new year here on the East Coast. Should be pretty good. Let's launch that up. Drink a little water while this launches. All right. Let this load up. While this is loading, I'm going to reply to my tweet. See if we can get a few more friends to join us tonight. Thank you, everybody that's hang out. Everybody that came in on the raid and decided to stick around. It's very nice of you. It's time to clean Santa's workshop. And power wash. All right. That's what we're doing now. We do call you Power Washing Pat. You don't, but you could. All right, let's go to the game feed there. Oh, and I can take this away. My sub goal, because we hit it. We're at 70. Well, currently, I'm at 79 out of 50 subscribers. So we're doing great. All right, so we're going to go into specials. If you're unfamiliar with PowerWash Simulator, you're a guy that power washes. You got your own power washing business. There have been some DLC, which they sometimes explain and sometimes don't. There's no good explanation for... okay, so in the world of PowerWash Simulator, Lara Croft is a real person because Tomb Raider is real. Midgar is a real fantasy place. Somehow you get sent to. The world of SpongeBob SquarePants. He has a pineapple. He lives in a pineapple under the sea. But Back to the Future is a movie franchise that may also be real, but is definitely a movie franchise, which is fun. But we're going to go to the seasonal special. Santa's workshop needs to be cleaned. We're at 28% of the job. We're going to keep power washing. We're not going to finish it in this hour, but we're going to get into it. Make Back to the Future real, you cowards, right? It's partially real, but the movie is a movie. And you're washing sets and locations and all that. But then also it does seem like the technology might be real. Which, if you're like, that doesn't make any sense, the world of PowerWash Simulator also doesn't make any sense. There's a lot of shit that happens in there that I won't spoil. They put a story in there. It's weird that they did that, but they did. Okay, so we're in Santa's workshop. And it's wet and wild in here. So we're gonna get our good triple blaster here. We're gonna keep it short here. You can see I have done some presents here. 0 days since the last eggnog incident. Uh-oh, that happened today. Maybe that's related to why everything is messy. I've just kind of been like running around power washing certain things. I kind of do that. I get tired of doing an area in a location like this. So like I did a lot of the mantle here, but I didn't do all of it. I didn't do any of the desk here. I did some of the floor. When it's a large space like this, a large indoor space like this, I did all the steps. I did all these steps. I did the entrance, but I didn't do the archway. Just like get a little done. Lord Crash says, watching Stranger Things 3, I did notice the mall theater had returned to Oz alongside Back to the Future. I can't believe how those people liked that fucked up movie. Yeah, Return to Oz is... So yeah, I'm just like kind of gonna free wash some stuff and just clean some areas here. And then we're uncovering things. I didn't know that there was a nutcracker here until I cleaned it. It's just like, what is that? It's kind of blended in. Some of the blacks here do blend in of this dirt. So yeah, I'm still kind of in the like go wherever, wash whatever I want phase. And then eventually I'll start getting into the like, all right, I want to try finishing areas phase. I want to actually, hold on. Go over here. I'm going to put me here so that you can see what equipment I'm using in the corner. We'll just do it like that. So yeah, I'm using the free motion because this is the normal where it's a locked, your camera is locked there. So as you move, your body moves, your washer moves, but then you can hit C on a keyboard and you just do this. If you want to know the controller inputs, I don't know. I have never played this with a controller. I got this game in early access on Steam. I play it on Steam. I do not know about any of the other options out there. I've never touched it with a controller, never played it on the Switch, which apparently Switch owners did not get this update in time for Christmas, which is a real shame. I think they just missed a deadline. That's a real shame, but it'll be there for people that get it, I don't know, in the future or don't care about the holiday. Like, I'm not going to finish this during Christmas season, maybe by All Saints, or not All Saints, by Three Kings. I'll finish by that. Can you look out the window that's clean over there? I'm wondering if my game bugged when I looked out during my game playthrough of the map. Is there a window? Oh, there's a window over here. Okay. I see trees and such. Did you not have that? You can let me know, Lord Crashington. Did your game bug out? Yeah, I see outside of the workshop. Some kind of background. Oh, I cleaned that. And there's also the doors here, because Santa's sleigh goes out these doors. Yeah, you can see, if I jump in the sleigh, you can see a background and snow falling. And I don't know what you see, but that's what you see in your game. But that's what I see there. We got the present wrapping machine. Very industrial looking. If I got up to the window, there was no ground immediately outside the window. Just stars from the sky. Oh, okay. I don't know if they just didn't put ground in there. This is what I see. I see some sort of blank space, baby. I don't think they fully, yeah. There's the background you can see there, and then when you get up onto it, it doesn't look done. Yes, the sky is in the ground, yeah. They did some of the background for when you're like over here. You can see it, and it looks really nice from here. But if you get closer, they don't care if you get this close, I guess. That was not a concern. They, again, this came out a little hot, so I'm not super surprised. Actually, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to move here, and I'm going to sit back, friends, because I'm playing a video game now and not building a model kit, and I don't have to lean over the table. So instead, I am going to sit back in my chair and relax in my nice chair I got for Christmas that is incredibly comfortable. I think that's the first skybox they've had while building a map. Probably. I mean, at least a night skybox, I'll say, or an evening skybox, because some of the outdoor stages you just have, white, they're not even clouds, like, bluish white sky. This might be the first, like, evening or whatever. This is certainly the first time that there's been snowing in the background. But this might be the first nighttime wash. It seems like the evening in here. Yeah, so we're just power washing. Very chill game. PowerWash Simulator, if you have not played it, I highly recommend getting it wherever you can. It's very inventive. There's a lot to do in it. It was a great early access game where they just constantly had new stuff come out and make some changes that were good and listen to user feedback. And then the final product is totally worth the price because it's very fun and very satisfying. There's always like the one little piece of dirt you can't find, and then you just hit the tab button. You can see that all the dirt is highlighted, and you can also click on a thing, and then it will highlight that thing, which we don't want to do there. But then that's how you can find, like, if it just says like board 7 of 8, and you're like, well, which board do I need to wash? You can click on it, and then you can look around at all the boards and figure out the one that you didn't wash. This is very helpful. Or like if it says Christmas tree present, and you're like, which Christmas tree present did I not finish washing? You can highlight it and it'll show up, and that's very helpful. Of course, you can also parkour on stuff and get the overhead cleaning. You got to purchase attachments and stuff. This is the triple sprayer. It is the best thing. It just makes quick work of a lot of stuff. Love it. Love it, love it, love it. So yeah, I've probably gotten all the presents, but there's probably a couple presents I haven't gotten fully yet, yeah. So we're just going to go around. The map has a good bit of glass in it. It does, which is fun. It doesn't have any, as far as I know, it doesn't have any gadgets or weirdness. Sometimes there are like doors that need to open, or, like, not secrets, but just like things you have to pay attention to. I do like that when those show up in stages. Or like running a machine. Because I think that we just have some equipment and then stuff to be clean. There might be some quote-unquote secrets, but if there are, I haven't found them. All right. Christmas tree, almost done. We might have to get on a ladder here, but I can actually probably, I can get to the top here. And now I can just clean this and hit all the spots I need to hit from the top. And hopefully finish up this Christmas tree. I'm just hitting the tab button. I'm just spraying wherever. All right, so I don't know what part of this tree hasn't been done yet. Oh, we got to get low on it. We're now crouching down here. Hitting this tree. We're hitting the tab button. We're looking for spots we missed. Very festive. Yeah. Hey, Heather. Yeah, this is the free bonus stage here, Santa's Workshop, that came out for the holiday season. I figured what a nice thing to do after I built some model kits as we go into the new year here on the East Coast. Obviously, where Heather's at, it is still plenty of time. The night is young for our West Coast friends. All right, so which part of this tree needs to get done? I don't know. This is the part where you're like, wait, oh no, wait, maybe the tree is done. I think actually the tree is done. Christmas tree is cleaned. It's finished. Okay. Christmas tree base is cleaned. The lights are all clean. The presents are all clean. The rug is all clean. The star is all clean. We have done all of this. Do they have more maps to announce? I believe so. You know what I'll say? John, I do not believe they have any more maps. There's another, there's a Warhammer DLC, a paid DLC, which they have not said when is coming out, and was supposed to be 2023 and got pushed to next year. So that I know is the next thing that's definitely coming out, is the Warhammer sometime in the winter. It was surprising they put in the DLC category of maps as season content versus the campaign's bonus maps. Yes, the place they put it is a little weird. I don't know if that means it's temporary or what, but it wasn't an odd spot. My guess is, Lord Crashington, is that it was easier to put it there, maybe. That's my only guess. Because anytime something happens and I'm like, that's weird they did that, it's probably because this way didn't break anything. That's usually my guess. It's like, okay, they could do that and without it having to rewrite something. Some time got saved. I think they're going to add more map space in the holiday. That would be great. I would love a Halloween stage. I would love something kind of spooky. A big pumpkin. You know, got to power wash a big old pumpkin. That'd be fun. I am going to buy the Warhammer DLC. Am I still a little miffed that my attempts to get the DLC codes I have, submitted to get coverage codes for the DLCs, the paid ones, the SpongeBob and the Back to the Future. Am I annoyed that I did not get either of those codes? A little, because I do stream this game quite a bit, especially in the early stages of it. I have definitely... My playing of this game has certainly sold a couple copies of this game. John wants Persona. I do... Look, I would like to power wash the food court in June S. I would like to power wash the bikes, I think, or the mopeds. Some sort of dungeon. One of the dungeons, like a rooms in the dungeon. I think that would be very funny. I'm thinking mostly about Persona 4 because that's the one I love. But yes, a Persona 4 Golden, where you are clean the shrine. Why couldn't we clean the shrine? The Mysterious Fox would love it if we clean the shrine up so that people want to come there. Should definitely do that. Oh, Mysterious Fox will be so happy. Instead of Gnome, you could have Teddy's costume at Junes. You know, it could be a whole thing. Margaret or Igor could be the person that's texting. Margaret would certainly text us, asking us to wash some places. The fates have brought us together for you to wash these things for me. It writes itself, everybody. Why do I have to keep doing all the work? Jeez. Let's use Power Scrubber here. Again, no real rhyme or reason with me and what I'm washing here. I'm just kind of going freewheeling. We've already done 10% of the job since I started, which is good. power wash the velvet. Yes, the velvet room, or even just the inside. Do the outside of the limousine and then the inside of the limousine would be pretty great. That would be pretty fun. It's small, so I would say like maybe the outside of it would be perfect. I think if you had a howling wolf noise because you clean the shrine and the wolf is very happy, that would be pretty great. We're going to get down here and see. Santa's coat has been cleaned. Archway needs a little bit more work. Let's see. You can see some dirt there, and we can tap. The problem is hitting the tab doesn't help much on this wall because the wall is very similar to the tab. So you're kind of like, I'm not sure what I need to clean here. But also, this could be part of the archway. Is that part of the archway? No, it's not part of the archway. But you can see here that cleaning this, the edge of that might count. So let's add an extension here, which you lose out on range, but you can power wash harder that way. I love doing that. Like, oh cool, there was a star there. I didn't know that. Have you modded Persona 4 Golden so you could finish the Meatball Challenge? Lord Crashington, yes, I could finish the Meatball Challenge anytime. That's not a mod so much as that's in the save editor that I used. I have enough courage and knowledge and whatever else you need. I've maxed out everything, so I could complete the Meatball Challenge anytime I wanted to. I could eat at Aya and do the challenge. I haven't because I want to do social links and stuff during the day. My game right now, because I'm a new game plus of Persona 4 Golden with mods, I have completed hanging out with Dojima, and I'm almost done hanging out with Nanako. So I have pretty much fixed that family unit. Things are pretty secure there. We've almost got it all figured out. French Bob says, High Top Fade suspected a fault in one of the planes and was about to give it a test flight when Ivor came skipping in the workshop carrying a box of secrets. This is explaining why things went bad. It wedged itself deep in the mechanism of the present wrapping machine. That's what happened, everybody. The present wrapping machine had an accident, a goofy accident. 1 in a million. Elf coats seem to be all good here. All right, we can move on to another segment. Let's go back up here. We were doing the floor here, and then I got distracted. Oh, I got asked about a window. That's what it was. And then we'll change this. And then we'll just wash some of this floor. And the walls, too. Here. No, my goal in Persona 4 Golden is this time around I'm going to complete the strength. Well, I had to do the strength enough to get the books because I forgot in my last playthrough that to do the reader challenge where you read all the books, you at some point have to talk to you have to hang out a lot with the strength boys, the sports club kids, because one of them eventually will give you a book. So I had to hang out with them, but I'm just going to complete it because why not? But while you thought I said meatball challenge instead of meat bowl challenge. Yeah. Yeah, no, it's not. It's the meat bowl challenge that in Persona 4 and Golden or otherwise, at one of the restaurants, a Chinese restaurant, there is a meat bowl challenge. And you could only complete it if you are at a certain courage level, I think. I can't remember what it is. I can't remember what the requirement is, but I have that requirement. You're going to be Adachi's friend, right? No, Lord Crashington. The one thing about, because I'm not trying to complete every social link, my three rules are, in Persona 4, I don't hang out with the rich, annoying girl, I. In Persona 4 Golden, and in Persona 4 and Persona Golden, I don't hang out with Adachi, and then I never hang out with the sad boy, Saki's younger brother. I never hang out with that dude. I did it once, and I'm never doing it again. Like, I understand. His sister died. That fucking sucks. But he's a piece of shit. He's a little shit, and I don't want to hang out with him. This time around, I'm hanging out with the girl, the trombone girl in the band, because she's a sweetheart. And I will try to encourage her to be better at the trombone and be part of the unit. That'll be nice. Hopefully that goes well for her, because she is a sweetheart. But yeah, I'm also not going to hang out with Adachi. That's just not going to happen. I'm not going to waste my time with that dude. I'm going to max level with Marie, and then we'll save her by going to that dungeon. But yeah. No. Rest in piss. Adachi. I'm not going to go hang out with that dude. I don't need that shit. What if that kept not... Well, yeah, Lord Crashington, if it had story implications, it doesn't. All it does is give you a bonus scene, I think. Like, you go to Junes towards the end of the game, and he's, like, he talks, and you, like, remember talking to him. I don't think it does anything in his dungeon. It certainly doesn't help anybody. It's just, hang out with this murderer before you know he's a murderer. Develop a friendship with this, for all you know, bad at his job police officer. And then later you find out, oh, you were friends with a murderer. It's like, no, I'm all right. I'm cool. I'd much rather help a kid and his stepmother figure out how to be a family, and help a smart kid that actually isn't that smart fit in school. Help an old lady come to terms with the fact that the love of her life left before she did. You know, stuff like that. Help a nurse want to be a good nurse again because one of, like, somebody that, like, she was taking care of died. I don't know, but we'll make the actually not horny but pretending to be horny nurse feel better too, I guess. Yeah. You know, priorities in Persona 4 Golden with mods. And cheating. Don't forget the part where I can cheat. Cleaning all this shit here. Clean it all up. Right. We're at 44% of this job. I will be finishing this job off stream, I am sure. In the next half hour, I won't be, finishing this up. But yeah, there's a lot here. People have asked me about the free DLC and the paid DLC for PowerWash Simulator. As far as the paid DLC goes, I think the Back to the Future is totally worth it. It's really fun. The locations are great. The story is really fun. The little text message stories of doing it. A lot of nice touches from the films. I think it's all three films. It's totally worth it. I am old. I'm an old man. I'm a little too old for SpongeBob. I was never a SpongeBob guy. I appreciate it. I'm old and also did not get high in college. So SpongeBob has kind of never been a thing I was super into. But for fans of SpongeBob SquarePants, the SpongeBob DLC seems very worth it. The free DLC that you get is the what did we get? What was that? Oh, the Tomb Raider, very fun. Lots of nice touches, some cool things to power wash, some cool little bonuses, and then the Midgard, the Final Fantasy VII, pretty damn fun. Hey, if you want to power wash mechs, you can power wash mechs. There are some robots that you can power wash, and that's pretty cool. And also, you cleaned the Buster Sword at one point, so that's pretty neat. John says, in my playthrough, I maxed out the nurse first. Had no idea what I was doing. That's funny that you streamlined the evening nurse hangouts. My first completion is Chie, because Chie is available most days that are sunny. She's on the roof, and you can just hang out with Chie. So I usually do pretty early, and you can get a chariot. Even if you're not cheating, you get a chariot pretty early and kind of get through that pretty fast. Yosuke, I always take a little time because his is easy, but I'm like, I don't want to hang out with Yosuke. But you got to get through them because you want to be able to get through Naoto and Marie. Like, you can only do so much before, because a lot of that is like time related. So you kind of want to do Marie when you can. And Naoto, you have the least amount of time to do it. But she's available pretty often. So, yes, we also know Chie's future. We know all their futures. This conveyor belt of sorts here, or tree removal. Eventually, we'll have to get on a ladder and do ceiling stuff, but I don't want to do that. I'm kind of just, washing whatever catches my fancy here. Presents. The cheer checker base. I guess that this is like the quality assurance for things. Sure. God, when I unlocked this, it was so nice. It makes life so much easier. It really does just rip through dirt. Now I have money, but nothing else to buy. Because I guess they're like in-game money. You can get some cosmetics. And that's fine for like multiplayer. But I don't do this game in multiplayer, so I don't need to see how it looks. This is I like that the box full of presents is decorated like a present. I think that is a very nice little touch they put in here. There are new holiday skins for everyone free. That's fun. Again, I only see my hand on occasion, so I don't worry about the skins. I don't need to know what I look like because I don't do multiplayer. But if I was playing this game with other people, if I was doing the multiplayer, then I would, of course, want to be very fashionable so that my friends knew who I was. And they could be like, oh, that's Pat. We know that that's Pat's gear. It's real funky. You're working at the pyramid, and man, that's taking a long time. Yeah, I mean, even if you have this extension, the pyramid, and you can just free and just kind of really go for it. The pyramid does take some time, inside and outside. It is satisfying though. That is a satisfying wash. All right, one of these presents isn't clean, and I don't know which one. Oh, I can see there. There it is. I think I got. Oh no, one of these presents isn't clean there. Oops. One of these presents. There it goes. There. I think I've done all the presents now. Yeah. Just do this here. Thanks everybody for hanging out. Really appreciate it. If you came in on the raid or just came in because it's Sunday or came in because you were like, oh, someone is streaming PowerWash Simulator. I want to see what's up with that. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. I think I'd rather have a dirty present than a soggy one. Look, this water is magical. It doesn't leave puddles. It just cleans stuff. Actually, technically, I'm not power washing. I'm power steaming, right? We're steam cleaning everything. It's fine. Just erasing the dirt. Whatever. Also, their presents at Santa's workshop, so I'm sure they're up to code. They're magically induced and will be fine. They dry quickly and safely and easily somehow. It all just works. I'm going to try not talking too much tomorrow before my stream because I'm going to be streaming 3 days in a row. I should say what I'm doing on Tuesday, just kind of promote myself if I can. If you have ever, or maybe you have heard, maybe you watched one of my streams, Mars First Logistics. Maybe you're aware of this. This is a game that is in early access that I've been really enjoying. You are on Mars. You are controlling drones that you build yourself. You're building vehicles to transport goods. Guess what? A big update came out this month, which I have not checked out yet. So I'll be checking out that big update on Tuesday. Update 2 for this game that is still in early access on Steam. I'm really looking forward to checking that out. Some new quests, some new vehicles, at least one thing that sounds like it sucks, so I want to see. There is fuel. Unfortunately, one of the best parts of the game that doesn't really break it but makes it interesting is you can build rockets to add rockets to your vehicle. Apparently, those rockets are now going to require fuel that you'll have to. So your weight will be determined by how much fuel you're carrying, and then refueling, I should say, is very easy. Hard for me to say out loud, easy for me to do. The refueling will just be like any like satellite station, which there are tons of. But I'm a bit frustrated that is being added. I hope that gets taken out because that doesn't sound fun. But other stuff, new equipment, some new vehicle stuff, some new blueprints, and new missions. So I'm excited for that. If you haven't seen the game, it has a Mobius vibe. It is so you could also say that it's Sable. It feels very much like the game Sable because the game Sable is also aping the Mobius style. So it looks very cool. The music is really fun. Controlling the vehicles is a good time. So that's Tuesday at 9 p.m. Tomorrow at 9 p.m. Eastern, my normal Monday stream, I'm going to be I'm going to be working on the model kit that we started tonight. So I will be working on the legs and the waist and the weapons, all that, the backpack. I don't know how far we'll get. Well, hopefully we'll finish the legs and the waist tomorrow. And then I'll be talking about some anime because I didn't talk about it tonight. Can I get up there? No, I can't get up there. I need a ladder to get up there. Where's the ladder? Ladder's over here. Get this ladder. Where can I put this ladder? I can put the ladder here. So I am going to do that. F. There we go. Now we can wash up here. And then we can continue on washing other places. But yeah, that's the schedule for next Tuesday. I am going to stream 3 days in a row. I thought about taking tomorrow off, but I don't want to. And I was thinking about maybe taking Tuesday off because there are 4 Tuesdays in the month. So I could probably take one of them off, but I also don't want to because it's fun to stream. And it's just 2 hours, so we should be okay. And because I didn't talk about any of the anime I'm watching tonight, I can talk about it tomorrow. So I just have to talk about the new show that I'll be checking out. Fluffy Paradise. The first show of the season, of the new anime season. If you missed my stream last Tuesday where I talked about anime of the fall season and previewed the winter season, which is again starting tomorrow, That video will go live on my YouTube. It's 2.5 hours of anime conversation. I'm excited for people to see that. That was fun to do. Always fun to do live. Talk about all the anime and the shows that I didn't watch and why I didn't. Occasionally it's because I was busy, and sometimes it's because I didn't think it was a good show. Okay. Just do this platform here. Good time up here. We're at 52% of this thing. PowerWash. So that's good. Some people have wondered, should this game have like there is music. Occasionally there's music that's involved in like this the circus stuff or the amusement park stuff that you're cleaning. And so I know some people have wished that this game had a soundtrack to it. And I could see that. I will say, if it did have music, I would probably turn the music off, because this game, for me anyway, is mostly a podcast game. This is a game where I get caught up on videos or something. Because I have multiple monitors, I often have something going on another monitor. Or I have my phone plugged into my speakers, and I listen to, or my headphones, and I listen to a podcast. This is great for that. This is great for a second screen experience, as some people say. It is fantastic for that kind of a thing. Oh, there we go. I finished that. All right. I got a lot of that done. The slide is done here. There's some parts of this that haven't been done. Kind of hit that. Oh, yeah. Just do this here. Clean all this up. Get this all nice and clean. Yeah, whenever I do play it, usually don't even have the game audio going on. I like to keep the dings, because you get the dings when you wash something, and you finish washing something. It's a nice thing, but I do have it pretty low. I could have it louder, but eventually the water noise does get a little irritating. And so I do try to keep it low for the stream. I don't know. This was like such a, to me, such a good investment, because it has been such a fun game. And like, they've supported it really well in early access, as I said. They did a very good job in early access with this game. And I feel like they really kept up with it after launch. The DLC, the free DLC has been very fun. I think the paid DLC is probably worth it, especially, as I said, if you have nostalgia for Back to the Future or SpongeBob SquarePants. I think they're no-brainers. The Warhammer, like, I don't have Warhammer nostalgia. I just think it's an interesting thing to partnership. I just kind of want to see what it is. Like, what are you going to be cleaning? It's Warhammer 40,000, so like, what are we doing? Like, I'm just interested. I want to know what it ends up being. And yeah, I could watch somebody stream it or whatever, but kind of want to see it for myself. All right, part of this vent is not clean yet. I don't know where that part is. Is it over here? There it is. It was underneath it. I couldn't see it. Sometimes it's in just a weird spot, and you can't see what you're missing. Like what there it is. Like, what part was that I didn't clean? I don't know. Please be a Titan, says Crazy Coot. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure what you're gonna power wash for 40K, 40,000. But it should be pretty fun. And that was supposed to come out this year, but got delayed until next year. No timeline on that, but hopefully we'll see. or Mobile. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know what exactly it's going to be, and I don't know when it's coming out, and I don't know what else is coming out there. I haven't looked at their timeline. I imagine they'll have some more seasonal stuff, as mentioned, and it'll be interesting to see what else comes out as they try to support the game and continue. You know, and like I said, part of that is to sell DLC, right? They want to sell DLC to the game, but also to get new people interested in it, right? Some free stuff might get them more reviews and might get more people to check it out, and then they can sell some more copies of the game. You know, not every game has robust support into the future, and I don't expect it, but it is nice when that happens. I can be pleasantly surprised. Santa's chair. Jump on Santa's chair here. Power wash this. But yeah, there's already been more free stuff than I would have expected with this game, and so I'm happy about it. Get up top there. Let's see what's going on up here. That's pretty clean. Okay. Fireplace is looking good. Oh, there we go. There we go. That got that done. This part of the mantle seems good here. Seems like I gotta go. There it is. I knew there was some part of the mantle that I hadn't done yet. That's what it was. Let's see. We didn't talk about resolutions. I kind of usually do that a bit into the new year. Mainly because I don't like to think about New Year's resolutions until it's the new year. For me, it's mostly keeping on. I would like some of my contract work to turn into permanent work, be that part-time or full-time. That would be really nice. As I approach new work, I'm hoping that some of the work that I do consistently on a contract basis can get more consistent and better pay, and just like more of that. That would be nice. I would like to, I can't say that one of my goals, Harold says 4K. Yeah. I can't really say one of my goals is move out of here, get back to the city, because that's just unrealistic. So I'm trying not to set unrealistic goals, because it's just I just don't have the funds for that. So I'm not going to say that, but I will say I would like to go to a PAX in 2024. I would like to go to a PAX again. This is the first year since the very first PAX East. So the first year since the beginning of it, of East anyway, that I have missed any PAX, or I have missed. How do I say this? There's plenty of PAXs that I have missed, but since the first PAX East, I have gone to one PAX a year at least. And then there were a couple years where I was going to every U.S. PAX. And then there was a period where I was going to, 2 or 3. I didn't go to Unplugged this year, which was the one I was going to in 2021 and 2022. I went to Unplugged. 2020, I went to East because that was right before the pandemic. So I got to go to East then. And I remember there were a few companies that didn't send people and they, and GDC got canceled because people were starting to get real worried about it. I think GDC got canceled during PAX because it was right after. But things were getting dicey. And then 2021 and 2022, I went to PAX Unplugged, but I didn't go this year. So this is the first year that I've missed it. I did PAX Online both times, which was very fun. So I would like to go to PAX this year. That is that I feel like is an achievable goal. I could figure that out. I don't know. I don't know. I don't have any set plans. So I'm not announcing anything, but that's like a thing I'd like to do. I'd like to go to, let's use this, extend out here. I'd like to go to or maybe Unplugged again, maybe East, probably not West. It would probably be East or Unplugged, but I would like to go to one of those. So we'll figure it out. We'll try. Especially bummed at Unplugged this year because last year, not a lot of my friends were there. The year before, a few friends were. This year, a bunch of people that I love were there. And I was like, oh, dang. Yes, Harold, I would like to see you at East. I would like to do panels and see friends and hang out at East, but that doesn't seem necessarily like a thing that I'm going to be able to do. But yeah, I had a bunch of people I knew at Unplugged this year, and I was like, I'm not there. Let's see, what else can I say? Anything else? About streaming, I don't really have anything new. I'm pretty happy with my setup right now. In end of January into February, I will be moving out of this room. My streaming setup will move out of this room. I do that every year. While my folks are out of town, I take over a different room, and I will be wired instead of wireless. So my connection will be stronger, and that'll be nicer. But that's really the only difference about my streaming. I don't plan to do anything else. Everything was shut down the same week Emerald City Comic Con, which is typically my vacation, birthday, tax return usage. Yeah. I've been to one Emerald City, and I really liked it. That was a fun convention. I would go back to that. I would like to go to Rose City. I'd like to go to Portland. I mean, I've never been to Portland, so I would like to just go. But I would like to go to Rose City Comic Con. That'd be nice. There are very good things about that convention. But just in general, as far as streaming goes, I don't have... I would like to do a charity event that I would like to probably do Extra Life again. Because I used to do Extra Life, and then I stopped doing Extra Life because I started doing a different charity event. I don't think I'm going to be doing Plastic Model Weekender this year. I think I'm going to be a mod and give up my spot because I've done every one of them. So I think I would like some new blood to come in and still volunteer my time and maybe be a guest on someone's. I wouldn't mind being a guest and just hanging out and being able to promote it that way. But yeah, I'd like to do Extra Life again. It's been a long time. It'd be fun to do that. I am going to do 2 subathons where I'm trying to reach a goal and could do a nice long stream. I'll be doing that in January, and then I'll probably do it again on or around my birthday because that's twice a year, and that feels, it's not 6 months apart, but it's close. It's about, so, end of January and then end of June. I'll be doing those. But yeah, I don't really have any other goals besides that yet. I'm sure I'll get some resolutions and such. I'm going to watch a lot of wrestling. That's not really resolution so much as just the thing I know I'm going to do. Got a bunch of good shows in January. Got a great DDT show and a Tokyo Joshi Pro Wrestling show coming up. Excited about that. Get well soon, Hikari Noah. Hikari Noah, one half of the tag team Free Wi-Fi, is unannounced health issue. We don't know, but we'll be missing. And Free Wi-Fi has given up their tag belts. They have returned their tag belts because of Hikari Noah's injury. So on the 4th, there will be a 3-way fight for the new champion, Go Daisy Monkey. I hope Daisy Monkey wins because Arasu is one of my favorites. They won't. It'll be Miyu and Rika, probably. It'll probably be them, and I won't hate it, but I won't love it. It does mean that she was supposed to wrestle Hikaru No on the 6th, because they have a show on the 6th, she was supposed to wrestle in a death match, Masha Slamovich. And now she has been replaced in that match with the non-binary nightmare, Max the Impaler. So Max versus Masha in a Tokyo Joshi wrestling show is a wild change. That's going to be real different and very good. Crazy says, have you thought about volunteering for Desert Bus? I'm sure they'd love to have you. So I haven't. I certainly could do online volunteering. I would not be able to travel to Canada for that. That's just not feasible. But yeah, that's certainly something that I could reach out to them. My contribution to Desert Bus, besides monetarily, I always try to give a little bit of money, is usually that I write a this or that for Graham. I've done now, I think, 4 years in a row. I've done this or that's. But yeah, I mean, that's certainly something I could look into if off-site volunteering would be helpful, or whatever. This or that's are bangers. I have a good. I think the first one, Ben Wheeler was mad at because I included a magic card that was like not an official. It was like a wacky card, but it's in the database, so to me it counted, and I was like, that should count. And then I did look. I think I know the tastes of people pretty well. Yeah, I think it was an unhinged card. So I was a little mad about that. And then I did not realize that Ian and Corey watched the Fate anime. I had no idea they were familiar with Fate. So my true or false, is this a real title for a Fate show or movie or one that I made up? I thought that one was going to be a stumper, but apparently they are very familiar with that series, and I had no idea. So that one I still think I wrote good fake names, but they were more familiar with Fate than I was aware, and so that one could have gone better. The wrestling faction or evil anime faction group went very well. I had a couple tricks in there that went well. Ian and I used to watch Fate together. See, I did not know that, Heather. I certainly don't know all of your anime histories. I certainly know some of your proclivities, but I don't know all of your tastes. So I didn't know. Yeah, they were way more confident about that. I only tricked them with one because it was kind of a name of one, and then I made up some details. So I unfortunately did not. Oh, my alarm went off there. Did not really stump them there. And then this year's, I think, went very well. Is this an anime that has many seasons or episodes, or was it a show? Was it a series or a movie that got canceled during production? That one I'm proud of. That one was well researched. The most research I've done. And also fun ones to be like, there was going to be an anime based on the musical group Tattoo. Yes, it never came out, but there was an anime based on Tattoo. An anime project based on Tattoo, and it looked pretty cool. But that didn't come out because of lawsuits among the group. There were some issues, personal issues. All right, we did 62% of this, which I think is pretty good. We're going to wrap up there because we are minutes away from it being New Year's Day where I am here, your friend Pat. So get comfortable again here. We are ready. We're almost ready for this, so I need to switch over to this, and then I need to do that, and then hit F11. Hell yeah. And then give me 1 second, and then we'll be in on that here. I'm going to blow my nose. Hold on. I do not have a cold yet, but I know I'm going to get one. But yeah, we are a minute and change away. Now, obviously, there's a slight time delay for you I have a pretty small delay because I'm not playing a game where I'm not playing Hearthstone where I don't want you to stream snipe me or something. But yes, we're counting down here on the East Coast. This is New York time, which doesn't mean anything, but I just wanted New York time because that was fun for me. But we are less than a minute away for it being 2024. Will this be a great year? Who knows? Was this year great? There was some good stuff. There was some good stuff. Yeah, mine is pretty mild. One of the panels I saw last year was horrible live action adaptations of anime. They showed the failed pilot episode of U.S. Sailor Moon. U.S. Sailor Moon is interesting to track down. That was lost media for a very long time. That is no longer lost media. If it wasn't Sailor Moon, it'd be pretty okay. Because it is Sailor Moon, it's not. Okay, we got here 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Happy New Year! Happy New Year, everybody! We had dance music, and now you're caught up. Happy New Year, everybody! I hit it 10 seconds before you did. Happy 11 p.m. Lashbrook. Happy 9 p.m. Heather and various other people, I am sure, on the East Coast. Happy it's not that late for you. Oh, I gotta turn off my overhead camera because I don't need my overhead camera on. Had that on for an hour. I did not need it on for an hour. But yes, Happy New Year. Happy 2024 for everybody. 2024 does not feel like a fake year. The way some years feel fake. But when somebody was telling me, oh yeah, that game is coming out in 2026, I was like, that's a fake year. That's only 2 years away now. But that does sound fake to me. That does not sound real. All right, so what's going to happen now is we're going to hang out for a couple minutes, then we're going to raid. Thanks for everybody hanging out. Especially we got a big boost on a raid from Will, which is great. I hope Will's having a lovely New Year's. And of course, tonight we had gift subs from Bobby Dice Roller, and we had gift subs from Bunny Fiend. Bunny Fiend did Bunny Crimes. We had the Bunny Crimes tonight, which is great. Just many gifted subs, which is rad. Again, the raid from Will. Reminder, 2024 might be the most important year of our lives. I mean, in some ways, every year is. There are fireworks going off, and that doesn't have to happen. Look, I try to fight the old man in me sometimes, okay? I'm 43. So I try to fight the middle-aged old man. And sometimes I don't like what I've become. But I think I'm fine with becoming a guy that doesn't like fireworks anymore. That liked fireworks just fine. Was, like 4th of July? Oh, we're going to go to a place where we have roof access. We can see the fireworks. Okay, great. We're going to see the Macy's fireworks, like over the river. Sure. But be it because I would spend time with people with pets, or fireworks that would just happen on July 1st at 11 p.m. in the evening, just in the street. I have just become a very old man about fireworks, where I'm just like, why do you have them? Why are you shooting them off? What are we doing here? There's no need. No one's looking in the sky right now, so it's just the noise part. Pets don't like fireworks, so they'll always be clothing. Pets hate them. Lord Crashing, I have been hearing them off and on for a little while. You had fireworks go off. Yeah, street fireworks. Yeah, street fireworks. Like, look, you're in a park, or a clear park that is for people to sit out and all that, and you want to shoot some fireworks out there, and everyone's looking up into the sky, and it's, again, July 4th. Sure. July 6th, get out of here. Why do you still have fireworks on July 6th, and why are you shooting them off now? Puzzler says, I'm going to be 38 in January and still like fireworks, but other people don't need to use them. Yeah. Most important year for me. Oh, yeah. Not a fan due to my hearing sensitivity. Yes. Harold, of course. There are to me many reasons that are valid. Also valid. You just don't like them. You're bored with them. You're just bored with fireworks. But again, time and place. July 4th feels appropriate to me. But like January 1st, I don't know. Yeah. I mean, they're not hard to get around here, certainly. They've been popping fireworks the last hour where I am. It's not even overtime here. Yeah, they're yes, you're still a little after 9. They're just easing into it. Um, well, weirdly, I don't stream a lot more than 2 hours generally. But this is the second time this week that I have gone over 2 hours because we went over 3. But we are going to end this stream with a raid. We got raided, which rules. Now, in a perfect world, I would find someone in the middle of the country to raid. Somebody I know, because that's a requirement, is that it's somebody that I know, at least internet-wise, someone that I'm familiar with. And we go hang out with them. So we're going to try to find somebody in the middle of the country that's streaming right now, and I don't think I can see that. I'm seeing another East Coast person that we could raid. I mean, how long has he been streaming? Oh no, okay. I'm sure he's gonna go longer, but we're not gonna rage Beej's anime roundup. Although I am gonna watch that later. Now I know what I'm watching tomorrow is Beej's anime roundup, which may or may not have inspired my anime roundups. But we're not gonna go read that because he's been doing it for 3 hours. Let's see. Who is playing some stuff that we want to go check out? You know what? Xandra, yeah, we're raiding Xandra. Xandra's only been streaming for 2 hours. I don't know how long Xandra's going to be streaming. But Xandra made all of my emotes. Have a good night, Ghost Valve. Thank you. Xandra made all of the wonderful emotes that many of you got tonight, thanks to some gifted subs. We're going to raid Xandra, who is a sweetheart. She is wonderful. She is streaming. And we haven't raided her in a bit because she hasn't been doing night streams a lot lately, or streams in general. So please come along for this. You'll have fun in her community. Her people are very nice. There's some crossover between the two. Yeah, Xandra's playing some games and hanging out, so we're going to go hang out with her. Thanks, everybody, for hanging out. Happy New Year to all of you. Hit the follow button if you haven't already. Hope to see you soon. Yes, Heather, it was so nice that you were able to come by. I'm so glad you were able to stop in. Thank you very much, and Happy New Year to everybody, and I'll see some of you tomorrow. Goodbye, everybody. Goodbye, goodbye, goodbye. Goodbye, goodbye.